Yeah, good evening to all. Some maybe the good morning also, and friends from the other parts of the world, maybe good afternoon also. You take it the way it's coming from the heart.
Recording has started.
Friends, really been it's a great time for each one of us to be moving towards the fifth day in the row on the subjects to connect the globe, a global week program which has been started on 27th, and today is the last day. This is the second last session of the day of this week long program. Friends, I welcome all the panelists. First, we have a panel from the different parts, maybe from the world. We have as a panelist Rajya Lakshmi Rao, who happens to be a national president, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. We have a Manish Agarwal ji, CA Manish Agarwal ji from Canada. We have a CA Gagan Gujral ji from the New York, USA. We have a friends from the different chapters across USA. Sandeep Patkar ji, Chairman, Toronto, Canada chapter. Ganesh Sharma ji, Chairman, British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada chapter of ICAI. We have a CA Vikram Vaid, New York, USA chapter of ICAI. The chapter which has been inaugurated long back under the aegis of Gagan only. Gagan, I think he is the first founder part of this New York chapter. Now he is a panelist today. We have a CA Geeta Ramakrishnan ji, chair who is chairing the San Francisco chapter of the USA. Friends, more so we have another friends from our council who has been there as a council member from the government side, as a government nominee, Chandar Vadwaji, who is an asset for the ICAI. Another friends as a council colleague and the co-chair of the committee, Dheeraj Khandelwal ji. I welcome you all and all the participants around us. This program is of the high importance for each one of us as a participants, because this is giving us the way to understand the globe, and whatsoever the opportunity from the different parts of the globe we can find out, which suits us, which we aspire to be, or which motivates us, or where the resources can be put in, because everyone understands the resources are limited with each and everyone, but the best utilization of the resources and the people around us has to be there. Today, the session will be really been taking care of how the accounting process outsourcing, the subjects which we all know, how these can be established so that we can serve to the globe sitting here in India. You know, there are the WTO regime, we are in the WTO regime, and there is a system methodology of serving to the globe, whether it is the mode 1, mode 2 or mode 3 or the mode 4 under the WTO regime. Sitting here in India, we can serve to the globe under the different methodology by way of the utilization of the technology. Friends, this is the day when we really been, which may encourage us, so many of us, so that we can take this profession forward and we can serve to the globe by way of the having been a lot of competency and the capabilities, which either by way of the technology or by way of the acumen, whether it is accounting or taxation side, GST, other indirect taxes, are so many strength of our professionals around in India. So with these words, I welcome you all, and this hope, this at the end of the day, at the end of the session, we all will be more competent, more strengthened by way of the better understanding. Friends, I'll request before handing over to the Dheeraj ji, we have our Chandar Vadwaji, our friends from the council as a government nominee. I'll request him for the opening remarks and the guide us about this program also. Chandar Vadwaji, over to you. आप म्यूट कर लीजिएगा सर, अनम्यूट कर लीजिएगा, अनम्यूट, यू आर ऑन म्यूट.
ठीक है, थैंक यू हंसराज जी. The ICAI, a global work, is organized to promote accounting and finance services globally, and today's session will cover establishing APOs in North America and navigating the path of accounting professionals to South American chartered accountants, strengthening the relations between both the countries, focus sectors and industries prevailing in the region, along with investment opportunities available and the right skill set required to perform better services by our members. It is also expected that after COVID-19 pandemic, supply chain from China will be shifted to India and the bilateral trade will further increase in the pharma sector, in the electronic and defense sector. These are the three main sectors, and other than that, it is expected that the moment the supply chain will, when this demand for the automobile sector will increase, the automobile sector is another area where the trade and investment will increase. The USA-India partnership is founded on a shared commitment to freedom, democratic principles, equal treatment of all citizens, human rights, and the rule of law. The USA and India have shared interest in promoting global security, stability, and economic prosperity through trade, investment, and connectivity. India-US economic relations are an important element in the overall relationship between the two countries. The focus areas, including economic growth and trade promotion, energy and the environment, democracy and development, and high technology and space were economic-centric are related areas. The USA seeks an expanded trade relationship with India that is reciprocal and fair. In 2019, overall, USA-India bilateral trade in goods and services reached $149 billion. $149 billion. USA energy exports are an important area of growth in the trade relationship. APO services play a crucial role in the present business environment. In today's challenging business environment, an increasing number of companies are outsourcing their accounting services requirements. APO service providers are consulting companies who provide end-to-end services to enhance, standardize, and automate core business pressures in the F&A domain. These active services primarily revolve around accounts payable, accounts receivable, bookkeeping services, taxation services, internal audit, financial statement preparation, treasury and cash management, valuation services, capital budgeting, payroll, etc. The Institute of Chartered Accountants of India has been playing a prominent role in the international arena by having a focused approach to work for the global accountancy profession. To expand its global presence and footprint, Institute is having 2 chapters and 4 representative offices in USA, namely Chicago, Dallas, Houston, New England region, Washington DC, and Florida. In total now, ICAI has 36 chapters and 5 representative offices across the globe, with the special address from Panama and Costa Rica Ministry and panelists from American region, including the Indo-Latin America Chamber and Invest India in this session. I'm sure ICAI would be able to work towards partners in nation building for achieving the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bhadwaji, for the special address to the all participants. Very rightly, you said that the $150 billion USA trade agreements are reached, and it's going increasingly. And APOs can serve to the entire people, whether it's accounts or tax or audit, financial statement, valuations, cash, treasury management, IFRS, lots and lots. Any value-added services, whether mutual fund, any kind of services can be rendered from the APOs. So we have and our eminent panelist from entire area. So we have Gagan Gujralji, we have the Manish Agrawalji and Raj Lakshmi Rao. So Gagan Gujralji is a chartered accountant as a CPA and having a long standing practice in USA, and he is a more than 15 or 16 years practice on the risk management services. He is having versatile knowledge on the US GAAP, IFRS, securities rules and regulation, and various laws into the US. He was also chairman of the US chapter of ICAI. So welcome, Gaganji. Now we have Manish Agrawal. He's also CA, CPA. He's also worked in many countries like Egypt, Africa. Now he's in Toronto in Canada, and he's also have a very rich experience in the practice side or job side, and he has worked a lot of organization, Toronto, CPA, Ontario, a lot of organization he has worked, and he's quite rich experience in this particular field. We have another dignitaries as a panelist. Yesterday, he was the president of the Indo-American American Chamber of Commerce. Today, we can say it's a former, but it's a one-day just gap. It's the former Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. She's also executive council member of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce National. She is the first lady become the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce and in the Western region, and first lady to take the various delegation to the various part of the US country. She is also on the board of the IRDA in various capacity insurance, and she is appointed in 2015 and again reappointed in 2018, and also been appointed by the RBI in the committee called Customer Service in Banks in the Damodaran committee. So with this, we have all three panelists over here, and along with the support, we have to have a support from the chapters, and chapters also guide us all the 4 chapters across the North American. It's a Canada chapter. Both Canada chapter is a Toronto chapter. Sandeep Patkar is there, and Ganesh Sharmaji from the Vancouver side. And we have US chapter Bikram Vaid, and we have the San Francisco chapter Geeta Ramakrishnan. So these 4 gentlemen also will have a discuss point where our chapters are working and how they are helping hand to our members. So friends, this is the last day. I know that we were having the all 4 hectic days. We spent a lot of time, and it's packed. Completely packed. More than 20,000 people are always seeing this particular program, taking the opportunities across the world. We have seen the opportunity in the Asia, we have seen the opportunity in the Australia, the Middle East, Africa, now UK, Europe. Now it's done for the North America. And after this second session going to be talk about the Latin America. So North America, we have a lot of panelists and how the opportunity. We know that Indian people are very passionate about the US. And taking the work from US. Everyone wanted to have a lot of outsourcing work. And from last 10 years, believe me, every people of Indian wanted to have a taxation outsourcing. But now we have to figure out whether taxation services is just only sufficient. We have a lot of other opportunities. This is why Gagan Gujralji is going to be detailed, give the perspective. Not only taxation service, we have a complete detailed services where we can provide a benefit services. So Gaganji, my question to you. We know a lot of outsourcing and offshoring also. So these words interchangeable. So what is the difference in the outsourcing and offshoring?
Yeah, thank you, Dheerajji. First of all, greetings here to everyone who are in the audience from New York, and I hope everyone is safe. As you know, New York always lead. Unfortunately, we also led, and we were the state with the highest number of COVID cases, and now we have stabilized. So I wish, everyone is going through, everyone is safe, and everyone's state or city gets stabilized soon. With that said, I will try to answer Dheeraj's question, right? I know it's the 9th session or the last day, there's always a chance of overlapping. So in cricket parlance, unfortunately or fortunately, this could be of least interest, right? Because people will say, oh, we have already seen the spinning questions of Dheeraj and the pace of Hansraj already in 9 sessions. So I will try to restrict myself to US. But in case I'm overlapping, which you have already covered in the previous session, unfortunately, which I couldn't attend because of the timing difference, interject me and I will be again back on track for the US. So the question is, the interchangeably use of the word offshoring and, basically the outsourcing, right? So this question is a very logical question everybody would ask. Probably I also asked to myself or to one of my mentors, many years ago. So let's take an example here, right? There's a company. I'll try to, simplify this and give, an example of a company. A company has many applications, right? It has a payroll, sales tax reporting, and the billing. Those are the 3 most common applications, right? The company doesn't want to take responsibility in either of these areas. The reason is the payroll is very different in US, right? Each state has its own sales tax. Each state has its own income tax. In fact, within a state, there are so many, sales tax regimes, right? In US, as of today, there are 9,000 plus sales tax jurisdictions. What that means is, right, if you sell in Meerut versus you sell in Bombay, the rates are different, right? That's logical. It could be. But here in US, if you sell in Meerut versus you sell in Lucknow, the sales tax could be different, right? So based on these 3 examples, I would say, so the company decides to hire ADP. ADP is the largest outsourcing company for the payroll in US. What ADP does is, ADP has its own office in US. They take the US employees and they will process the payrolls because there are 100 employees in my example. 50 employees are working in New York, 15 are working in New Jersey, so on and so forth. So ADP will file your payroll returns for these individual employees in addition to the federal payroll, on these states. Another example is the sales tax, right? With the, you might have heard the case of Wayfair, right? When the Supreme Court of US gave a judgment, right? Where it says that, if you do your sales through e-commerce, those are subject to sales tax now. So now, I'm selling 5 masks, COVID masks in, to Geeta in California. This would be, I will have to file a return in California for the sales tax. So the company says, okay, we can't handle 9,000 jurisdictions, so we will do the sales tax. So outsourcing, they give it to a company, right, who have 50 employees sitting in China and 15 employees sitting in India who would process these payrolls, right, offshore and file it. So here it's an outsourcing. The company outsourced to the service provider, and the service provider in turn offshored it to outside of US. And the third example is the company is doing the billing or the, on its own. What it does is the company contacted Dheeraj ji, you in Bombay, and you make them set up their office there. Their back office there, and the employees are hired on behalf of the company. So it's an offshoring, the company offshore. So the outsourcing and the offshoring can happen with each other, in conjunction with each other, or can happen independently. So in my previous example, it was an outsourcing, payroll was outsourcing, sales tax was outsourced and then offshored. Whereas my billing cycle or the accounts payable cycle was, just offshore. So those are the 3 scenarios. So offshoring normally would be within the company itself. Generally, outsourcing would be to a different service provider. So that's basically the difference. So we have to be careful because sometimes, the terms are not only used interchangeably. Sometimes the jurisdiction and the legal compliance and the quality issues could become different.
So, sir, again on the same question which you have mentioned that mostly people know about APOs and account outsourcing work from the US. In India, we are working since long on the taxation part. And can you just brief about, in the global, level, we, as of now, we know that, 2-3 markets, either, Canada, either, US or Australia. So isn't global. So which is the relevant market as of now? Which is the relevant, whether the US is still remain the, biggest market or any other, countries are also becoming a good market for the Indian chartered accountant?
So again, as you know, these days accountants don't give direct answers. They are more, closing up with like a legal term. So I will say the basic answer is it depends, right? But nevertheless, right, I would say if I apply the law of averages, right, it is directly have to be proportion to the GDP, right? So the bigger the economy, the bigger would be the market for the outsourcing or offshoring as well. The reason I say this is because, as Chandravaji has said in his opening remarks, right, 20 years ago we were thinking like the BPOs or APOs as just the bookkeeping and the audit and the tax, right? With the auditing being a licensed and the regulated industry, that goes out of the picture as far as I'm concerned for the APO, right? Internal audit is also debatable. It remains, a little bit it's out, right? With that said, the bookkeeping 20 years ago was the only thing we were thinking, right? Probably when I joined the article, I was probably only thinking of bookkeeping. Now it's diversified. I'll give you 2 typical examples which have been added to this list in the US again. First is the FATCA. Foreign Tax Reporting Act came and, one can say, okay, this is a byproduct of tax, but let it be. But I think the way I look at it is it's more like a banking thing, right? I think more than the tax outsourcing, the banking have done more offshoring and outsourcing for this particular thing, right? And the second is the billing for the insurance claims, the medical insurance claims, right? The medical transcripts is the other parlance they use in this, right? Those are very specific and very, I would say, predominant, right, in New York, right, or I would say in US, right, for the last many years, right? With that said, if I expand the services, right, I would say, again, I'm not saying because I'm from US, right, but again, if you add all the services, right, it will be, I'll have to simply apply the law of averages, and the US will remain a predominant market. So others are following. So I'm saying someone took an example of Panama, right? I've been to Panama multiple times. They have already done a lot of outsourcing, offshoring. But again, if I compare Canada versus Panama, right? Even if they expand, right, they're not going to offshore the oil production there, right? Which is they're known for. So, but keeping in view the services, right? So it has to be a function of the size of the economy.
Good. Sir, can you just expand the little bit on the APO services which are being offered as a traded? We are aware of that. What kind of new thought process can be included in the APO? By the chartered accountant, they can render. In terms of the technology, a lot of digital arena is coming. So what we can add it more in the outsourcing part?
Yeah. So the technology, I mean, as you say, is evolving, right? AICPA recently, I wouldn't say recently, maybe as back as 5 years, came out with a webinar. I think it was labeled as Templosion or something like that, right? So basically they say nowadays for any major company, CEO doesn't survive for more than 5 years, right? Because everything he will be outdated by 5 years, right? So with that coming in, right? Artificial intelligence these days, data analytics, right? The data mining, Mr. Modi's favorite term, right, are being used these days, right? So this is right. I mean, so I would say there's no limit or there's no boundary to anything today, right? And I think one of the things is we have to start looking for, right, what are the the opportunities available, right? When the Wayfair judgment came, right? Sales tax was a big thing, right? So I know, we working closely with the Indian consulate here helped few BPOs and the APOs start doing a seminar, right? So I would say look out for the opportunities. Other thing Chandravarji mentioned was the supply chain, right? So supply chain would shift a little bit from other countries to India, right? So when the supply chain shifts, right, there are always some services or some things which are incidental to this, right? Those would also shift. So FATCA was another example, and recently the coding. The coding is basically the term they use here. The codes which they use to bill, right, the insurance for your medical claim. In other words, you go to a doctor and he does your x-ray, chest x-ray, that has some code, maybe 239.16, right? So now the whole coded plan has changed, right? And it's an evolving topic. Many companies are reacting to that, and it's a big opportunity for the Indian accountants.
Yes. So now I'm coming to my next question to the Manish. As we are discussing with the Gagan about the USA perspective, the APOs, you are sitting in the Canada market, in the Toronto market. So can you give the overview of the APO, services from the Canada, where, how the people are outsourcing to Indian companies or Indian chartered accountants, and what are these services are?
Sure. So first thing is Canada is also doing a lot of outsource work, especially big firms. All their work is being outsourced to the Indian counterparts. So because they get the time zone advantage, so the files are completed much faster. And besides this, they are also taking advantage of the accounting process. So like companies who are running big applications like SAP, and which is more data consuming and which is a lot of manual labor, those are outsourced as well. So these are some of the examples. Payroll is hard because you need local expertise. So plus the local time zone, so that is little bit difficult to outsource. But other than that, also, as Gaganji said, the FATCA compliance, but that is not for Canada. But the bookkeeping is the most commonly outsourced. I also work with few firms in India. They're very nice. Plus the staff is super trained. So the things which take here hours and hours, they are getting done in much faster way. So maybe, does this answer your question?
Yes, I think this is a good question, good answers. Okay. So now coming back to the Raja Lakshmi. So being you are the now former national president of the Indo-American Chamber. So can you just brief about your chamber? How the chamber functions and how it taking the chartered accountant into the more front way in these areas? Unmute yourself.
Good morning, America, and good evening, India. We, as the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, is 52 years old. One of the most important bilateral chambers, which was set up by the then Ambassador Chester Bowles, along with the top industrialists. And they had a vision that this kind of Indo-American partnership is essential in business. And we have 10 branches and 2,000 members. It's very active, and as I really felt since I've just stepped down last evening as the national president. I'm the first woman national president ever, But since the organization said, no, please join us, so I'm continuing to speak to you. But I will speak about Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. What we have been doing is provide any service provider, any service a person or with their activities, whatever they require. We speak to the counterparts in US also and in embassy. And you'll be happy to know that US Ambassador, His Excellency Jester, day before yesterday, he members for the first time. He made such an exception. And also the trade commissioners, everybody from the US consulate, is Eileen Nandi, who is the head. She's the Minister Counselor for Corporate Work. And anybody and everybody across have promised us whatever the election results would be in the coming couple of months, bilateral trade and their association with India as strong and is going to be better. Knowing that has come from the embassy itself, and that really gives us a lot of hope and the connect. Invest India has been helping us from day one that I've taken over. And in every aspect, in every state, and in every sector, they're doing amazing work. Any problem state in India or with US also, ISCC can connect both ways, and also with the US consulate. Through their and otherwise also, we take delegations to US. And in Washington, and our own Indian Consul Generals, we've been back to back with almost all in San Francisco and Chicago, Atlanta, Houston. So talking to us, any problem our people have in India, they will somehow clarify and help. This kind of help was never known to many people earlier. We want to help MSF and also the service providers, especially in your organization. Since I'm talking to you all, you can actually provide many facilities, not only accounting procedures, but you can actually simplify finding even the promoters, business promoters in your line of work. It's very easy. How did BPO start and make it so big? I mean, imagine, it's a huge industry. I'm also a director in Tech Mahindra. I mean, it has gone so big everywhere. And why can't you do? It's just that you have to think big, dream big. How our Prime Minister is saying so in India, you have to dream big and you will make it. You'll all threshold. Don't worry. You'll make it very big and you'll be one of the topmost in the world and you will win the best businesses in US. This is how I see it.
Correct. So, Gaganji, as we were discussing about the various APOs and KPOs, a lot of things are outsourcing. Still, the US is the number one in such services. So, we have a lot of youth members, youngster people in India. They always look upon the US, kind of services, how they can get the services of the US companies and how they can set up the APOs, getting the work from the US. So, can you just brief me, how we should approach, how we should target the customer for the APO services in the US?
Yeah. So, it's like, you need to do the marketing, right? You can do any way you want, right? And it's nothing, I would say, not different, right? Then you are having a practice in India and you want to go develop your clients, right? And that's, but with that said, right, to how to overcome the geographical barriers, I would, give some examples, right? I think, we have to tap, or the youth has to tap the different sources, right? Which could be the chambers of commerce, right? Chambers are there, right? Which, you have, the expertise, sitting there, right? They organize conferences, etc. That would help you, do. Then the other thing is embassies. I think embassies are the important source, right? all major embassies, right, have the representative from the Ministry of Commerce. Same is the case with Washington, right, and the New York. I remember ICAI requesting me many years ago to liaise with them when we were discussing mutual recognition agreement to determine how many hours of TP credit one CA would get after doing 4 years of articleship. So Ministry of Commerce was so actively involved, right? And they have the sources, right? And other thing is, you have to reach out to local chapters, bankers, accounting firms, right? Lawyers, right? Depending upon what you are tapping, right? For FedCA, I think the banks were the main source, right? And other thing is, when you're tapping into any market, right? Be it US or other, right? You are not familiar, right, with the I don't want to use the word KYC, so it's a similar like you don't know with whom you are dealing. I think their embassy, right, or the local chapters can come into play. They play a very important role because that's the key, right? You don't want to tap into a wrong domain, right? And also, right, sometimes there might be restrictions, right? Right. You're tapping into, let's say, the transaction processing, right? You have a UN sanctions. You don't want to enter into anyone who is doing transactions with the countries which UN put sanctions on, right? And you are dealing with a company, but the directors are of that country, and the back end there are the transactions. I'll only mention about the cases which are in the public domain. The famous ABN AMRO case, when they were processing, they didn't know who their customers were. So I think that is very key. I have seen, of course, Dheerajji and Nanzaji, you would know more there, how the CAs are reporting cases. But I've come across cases where, in a haste, people enter into, they tap the market, and then they repent. So I would say these are the good sources, and then I would say these are the existing ones, right? Then look out for what are the changes going to happen, right? Like sales tax change happened in US, FedCA happened, right? So any new change happening, so you will have to, it's like it's an opportunity, right? So like GST was an opportunity at the domestic level, right? If something happens where CAs can contribute whether it's US or any country, right? I think that's that's what I would say.
Right. I think you were very, rightly you mentioned new changes you have to tap, and you have to do all possible things. You need to contact the Raj Lakshmi, where he can, give us a good opportunity for the Indian Chartered Accountant, as he being a president, also former president. Of course, need to connect Gagan Gujral ji, Manish Agrawal ji, who's having the opportunity of the kind of work. So please explain, give it your email ID also. A lot of chartered accountant look it, up to you. So give us a good word. So anyway, Gagan ji, I just wanted to more one information. When we taping opportunities in US as APO services, so what kind of techniques, latest techniques and infrastructure requirement are there in the Chartered Accountant Office?
Yeah, so I would say, infrastructure again, we have people from the San Francisco, from the Silicon City, they can add there more. But I think infrastructure, I said, the technological infrastructure is advancing, right? Whether it's a cloud upgrading, that will definitely be there. I think that's the starting point. What CAs can make a difference is the one thing which is very important, and in the US market, and I wouldn't hesitate to extrapolate that statement for the entire world. The integrating techniques, right? Let's take the three examples which we took earlier, right? The payroll, sales tax, or the billing, right? I mean, if these are outsourced, right, I think the technique used should be how these are integrated. We have to give an integrated approach, right? The integrated solution is the best, right? If you're doing payroll, on a standalone basis, right, outsource, and then the company is struggling to integrate that into the back end, right, with their other records, it's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a frustrating at, both the ends, right? I think to create a long-term win-win situation, integration is the mantra these days, right? Because otherwise, don't have to sell outsourcing and offshoring as an outsourcing or an offshoring. You have to sell as an extension of the existing company. I think that's the difference. If you sell as an extension of the existing company and use the technique of integration, there's no limit.
Now, coming to Manish, the same things I have to ask to you on the Canadian market, as Canada also a great market for the all Indian chartered accountant. A lot of, people are attracting toward the Canada and a lot of facilities being given in Canada. So, can you just brief, if I am to look for the APO service in Canada, how I can market myself, being a youth and youngster member, so how I can market my services to the APO in industries in Canada, and what are the benefits are there from the Canadian markets?
See, basically, social media is one of the best platforms because especially LinkedIn, I get a lot of requests from organizations who are providing services. I get requests from companies who are providing part-time CFO service. We get requests from bookkeepers. We get requests from few bigger companies who are doing at a much larger level. So LinkedIn is one, and plus, of course, they use Facebook ads. So these are two tools where they get a lot of attention to this market. And other than this, the benefit is for Canadian market, the benefit is that once the work is outsourced, basically it's a 24/7 kind of reach. So the files get completed much faster. We can retain the local staff for much longer because otherwise, once it's too much of data entry or too much recurring work, sometimes they move on to next job. And other than that, we also get the benefit of scaling. If we keep doing all the work ourselves, we never have the time to grow the business. So it's so easy because, and plus, it's like our kind of social responsibility and like part of how corporation says CSR. We have to give the work to our counterpart. We have to help youngsters know what is expected in the industry because keeping everything to us doesn't help anybody because this is the way it works. You have to give it out, delegate, and let them learn. Sometimes there is an initial learning time in the file, but so be it because that will happen with locals too. So you have to experiment. And other than that, the best advantage is the process. Because anybody who does it for long goes and tends to make a checklist. Once the checklist is done, the checklist keeps improving. And the standardization is the only way we get the best results.
Yes. So I think very rightly said, this is benefits. I think one more thing I wanted from you in the Canadian market, which accounting software are generally used in Australia, Joho or Giro, software.
Yeah.
So which software in Canada people use so that Indian people can understand and can check that software and can have a practice and can provide services.
See, Canada is using, basically, it depends on, of course, the size of the firm and what is their need. But basically, to start with, QuickBooks Desktop and QuickBooks Online, that is the first thing comes to mind. That then Australian software, as you said, Xero is becoming very popular because it has the ability to take the data feed from your bank and credit card. So basically the data entry work becomes less. Other than these two, there are some small players. But now if I go to mid-tier, there is Microsoft Navision. People use SAP B1, Business One, which is slowly moving to SAP HANA. Plus some companies use Oracle. And there is another local software called NetSuite, which is very popular in North America. So these are the kind of ERP. Of course, they are process driven. So again, the moment the process is there, there is opportunities there because QuickBooks is too small to outsource. But at the same time, ERP is much better to outsource because there is a process, there is a workflow, data flow. So it's all good opportunities. And the corporations have a lot to do. Of course, then there is consolidation work, there is business intelligence, there is more data mining. So the work is endless. The companies have to do projections, forecasts. So there is endless work. We just have to adapt and do a good job.
So very rightly said that data mining, data processing, these are the works are there which other part of the accounting world. So these are the new thought which are there. So Gaganji, I'm just again wanted to rush to you. Then I'll take the question from the Raj Lakshmi. Then open for the forum with the all chapter chairman. So Gaganji, what you want to convey to our participant in terms of advice? How they can establish their APOs in India, how they can get the work, which I think you already explained, but what the message which you want to convey to our member?
Well, I think the work can be obtained, the work can be executed, right? The way I think is how the chartered accountants can be, can differentiate themselves, or for that matter, anyone, right? I think in a global economy, one thing we can't say is, okay, we are chartered accountants and the Americans are, the CPAs and, always the pressure flows from high pressure area to low pressure. I think those things are, at some point, equilibrium has to reach. So I would say the three things which probably the chartered accountants can make a difference here is, first thing is the quality, right? Which goes hand in hand with the specialization, right? You can't say I'm a chartered accountant and I will do the sales tax reporting where there are 9,000 jurisdictions here in US, right? You need to specialize. You need to have a specialized resources to handle that specialized work, right? And the second I would say is the compliance, right? And for anything, right, related to the area you're assigned with, focus on compliance. And the third thing I think, which is very big in US specifically, and I'm sure it's in the other parts of the world as well. And one thing which I hear from different sources that my Indian counterpart, need to work on, that is the communication, right? I think many of the relationships, you get a work. You don't want to work for 1 year. You should be in a position to get a work that you have that relationship with the company, outsource or offshoring relationship with the company for 50 years, right? Maybe, if you get a job, you want your grandsons to be, working on that. And, it's like, you want to have that sort of relationship. And that's possible. And, many relationships break because of the lack of communication. The communication is important, right? It doesn't matter, right? You have a deadline, you have, you missed the deadline, right? I think it's important in the relationship is if you are anticipating to miss the deadline, whether it's a statutory deadline or otherwise, right? The management or the top board knows that that's happening. Could be for the reasons within the control, could be for the reasons beyond the control. And they should be in a position to say, yes, had I been in your position, probably it would have been the same position. So, yeah, I don't think that is a problem. So it's basically treat the others the way you want to be treated. Like there's a saying in Sanskrit, Atmat Sarvuteshu Yadashyati Sa Pandita, right? So exactly, if you apply that principle along with the communication, that would be the foundation of your success story.
So, my last question to you, after COVID-19, the entire world had changed. What we are previously getting now, again, outsourcing arena has increased. So, do you advise to the Indian companies, Indian practicing firm to have a setup in US? And then rather than connecting to the various people, let's have a setup there and get the outsource work. Do you want to suggest? Or if yes, then in which part of the country you have a accounting firm?
Yeah. So I would say, again, I think your first question was, where I gave 3 examples, right? And I think the middle one was the sales tax, right? Where you outsource and then offshore, right? So I gave 3 examples. So I think nothing is preferred one over the other. If the combination of the outsourcing and the offshoring gives you a comfort or gives your client a comfort, then let be it. And that's so instead of directly working from India, you set up your sort of office in US and then work accordingly. So it's instead of one step, you become a two-step, right? And as far as what I'm hearing in the market so far, right, that is a sort of psychological factor, right, which comes into play these days. But then, if you combine that with the real estate factor, right, sometimes it goes off the plate. The reason I'm saying is the real estate is very expensive, right, especially in the big cities. So I'm trying to attach with the second part of your question. If someone has to set up which state. So one question when it comes to the outsourcing is, okay, I don't want to set up in Delhi. I want to set up in Meerut because the cost is less, right? So cost is the one factor, right? I don't want to set up in New York, but I want to set up in New Jersey. That's fine. But you can't set up in Alabama just purely for the cost factor, because I think all decisions taken purely on cost may fail. You have to combine cost with the quality and see where the availability of the resources are.
Right. So I think
I trust that answers your question.
Yes. Now, I think a question to the Raj Lakshmi. I think we have, fairly dealt with the APOs, a lot of services, from the Manish and Gagan. I wanted to, from you, can you just briefly give the overview of the investment flowing into India from the US, America, and what are the opportunities of the investment in America? So both perspective.
Actually, very strangely, just yesterday we had or day before we had a webinar where all the investors who are doing in US had participated. And you will be surprised to know that they are very happy doing business in US, because they say it's a lot more easier to do business in US, considering we have the same language, we can go across and talk to them, and a lot more advantages because you can expand and scale very high. And we had Mr. Rajendra Gupta, Trident Group chairman, and he said, I started from nothing and I made it big because of US, and he's continuously expanding there. And Mr. Hinduja, Gopi Hinduja, he also came and he also spoke about how they have scaled it in US so well. Investors are doing extremely well in US, and there's a lot of excitement about that. And now it is an opportunity for them to even go bigger. And all this false feeling that we are not allowed and we are not allowed to expand is just not right. As far as investments into India, you should have heard that Mr. Deepak Bagla from CEO of Invest India spoke to us so beautifully about the investments in every sector. They made it so easy, and all sectors they've opened one window, and they have really promised. We had Reliance also, their CFO also came and joined us with all the investments coming into India. That's like a dream. So everybody is now looking up how to do business here and there.
So now we have the open forum, a lot of questions are flowing, and we have the chat chairman as well. I think due to the paucity of time, I'll take the two chapter chairman here, and in the second half, we'll have the two chapter chairman. So it's just fine. So we have the question also, and we need a introduction from the chapter side. First, I will take the US chapter and one US, one Canada chapter. So from Toronto side, we have the Sandeep Patkar, and from US side, we have the Vikram Bed. So Vikram, do you have any questions to panelists? And after, if you have any question, I wanted to pose that, just brief about the activities of the US chapter, where US chapter bridging the gap, India and US, where the members you are helping the members. Over to Vikram.
Sure. So, first of all, starting with what we are doing in New York. As you know, New York chapter was one of the first in the US as well as North America. and Gaganji was the torchbearer of the profession on this soil. He helped establish and run this for when the chapter was in infancy. And as you know, there's so many chartered accountants, a huge population in New York area. So what our chapter does is we provide opportunities to network them, as well as we help people who are planning to break into this market. Third thing which we help people doing is liaising with ICAI Delhi, and in case any of our members have any issues, so they want to connect with people in India, so getting them in touch with right people. These are the 3-4 things what we are planning to do, and which are being done. And as far as going forward, our aim is to connect with more people and make introductions to right people, whoever needs any kind of help, helping all the members out.
Great.
Yeah, and in terms of question, so I want to ask whether an Indian CA requires any other qualifications to do a job in America. That's one question which is being asked.
Gaganji.
Okay, yeah, sure. So I think this is a very common question, right? Right. So for the, I would say any accounting work, right? The question, I would probably tweak this question a little bit, saying, okay, is the qualifications a broad term? Is the licensing required? The reason I'm saying this is because of the trifurcation of the ICAI regime in America in 3 parts here. In India, I'm just trying a comparison. It's not really trifurcation of ICAI. Don't worry, Chuk Saab or Dheeraj, but it's like they're the functions, right? In India, the exams, licensing, and the membership is regulated, by ICAI. In US, right, the exam is handled by NASPA, AICPA does the membership, and the licensing is done by the state board. So, it's a different structure, right? For any work you do, right? Again, it depends. If it is in the regulatory framework, right, you need a licensing. But if you are setting up an APO per se for bookkeeping, you don't need, right, any qualification or any licensing related thing. If you are doing payroll processing, right, you are required to submit returns to the income tax department or the IRS here, right? You can be a CPA, or alternatively, you can be just a registered person there, right? So if you have in your office someone who is like in India, you used to have STP and ITPs. Some of the new generation people probably will not know what that mean was, right? But, similar to that, you can be registered with IRS and you can file those type of work. Whereas, if you're doing auditing or any regulatory work, right, you need to be a licensed person, which is handled by the State Board of Accountancy, 50 different boards, different regulations. So, in other words, Mamta Banerjee may say this is a rule for practicing in Bengal, and Mr. Krishna may say this may be a rule for practicing in Maharashtra. So that's the framework. The only exception I could think of is the PCOB, which is considered to be very stringent, right? Again, in the statutory word, PCOB allows the foreign qualified accountants to register with them and practice audit for the public company, which is a very big thing here.
I request the Sandeep to be brief on just explain the activities and you can also have a good question. Then we'll have I'll also request the Ganesh ji and Geeta also for the questions.
Yeah, thank you, Dheeraj. And my name is Sandeep Podkar, privileged to be chairperson of Toronto chapter. Just to stand Vikram correct, Toronto has been the first chapter in America. We started in 2006. But irrespective of that fact, the aim of the chapters are generally similar. What we strive to do is to unite our community and to get the best out of us. For example, we have also come up with a memorandum of understanding that is signed by ICAI and CPA Canada, which allows now Indian CAs to be directly eligible to appear for the final exam final CPA exam in Canada, which avoids the lengthy process of years of CPA candidates that would otherwise have to go through. Besides that, we have a strong networking platform. We conduct a lot of PD events. We have very specific programs such as mentorship programs to help career growth of our members and getting new immigrants ready for the job markets, as many immigrants are coming to Canada. The chapter also has something called job portal or resume portals to help members get job opportunities by leveraging our members' united strength. Dheeraj, do you want me to ask a question or let other chapter members continue, chairs continue?
You can ask the question. You can ask the question.
I just wanted to ask Manish, from Canadian perspective, I appreciate you sort of talked about which platforms are sort of useful for people to connect and, engage the parties who may be interested in offshoring or outsourcing. Just wanted to get sense of, from your experience, of course, what does it take to get the APS services engagement from Canadian companies? So yes, you connect with them, but what does it take for them to really get the engagement, and how much time and effort they should expect, and what?
See, there are two things here. One is the initial, of course, the contact, which we call lead in technology industry, and then how seriously they pursue the lead, because the persistence is very important, because the client is always busy in their own affairs. Of course, he wants to get it done, but then at the same time, it's a mix kind of situation where he don't have time for it, and he wanted the service yesterday. So it depends on the service provider, how soon he can convert this into a valid business. Demo is important. Of course, they have to be flexible as per client timings. Sometimes, sometimes the good people, what they do, they share the calendar with you. He says, pick up the time. I'm flexible. They open the calendar. So, and like they follow up little early. He says, oh, remember we have a call in 30 minutes. Is this still good for you? So that kind of thing is important. We cannot have an attitude that says, oh, the guy didn't show up. Of course, he is working. He has a business to run. He might have some issues. So that mindset, open mindset is very important, because it's a win-win for both. End of the day, until the deal happens, nobody is winning. The client is suffering, and he might go somewhere else where he get a little better service, maybe pricey. Sometimes it's not about price point. Sometimes it's all about how properly you can execute the assignment. And of course, after you get the assignment, the quality of work has to be there. Otherwise, there'll be sudden departure, or there may be again discontinuance.
So I think we have joined next panelist also, but before that, I have the two other chairmen also, Ganesh Sharmaji from the Vancouver. Ganeshji, you can ask the question and the introduction part of your part maybe in the later second session. You are on mute. You are on mute.
So thank you everyone, and thank you Dheerajji for organizing this wonderful session. I say good morning and good evening to everyone, depending on the time zone you guys may be. And in terms of what activities we have been doing for helping the Indian chartered accountants immigrating to Canada, most of them have been covered by Sandeep. Thank you, Sandeep, on that. But I would speak few ones, the ones he did not cover. So one is we here in Vancouver chapter of British Columbia of ICAI, we emphasize and focus on preparing the chartered accountants even while they are in India, even before they are trying to immigrate to India. Like, for example, we keep holding webinars or seminars from time to time. I do remember I personally did myself 2 webinars. One recently in May this year. That was for the job opportunities for Indian chartered accountants in Canada, overseas destination. So that was one. And then before that, we did another webinar, probably that was some time back. And the second one. And then other than that, we keep interacting with our Indian chartered accountants, professional brothers and sisters. And we do keep mentoring them from time to time. So we keep getting emails from them. We keep getting phones also from them. And we do advise them how they can prepare by before coming over here. That is one thing I wanted to mention. Second is as Sandeep mentioned about the job portal at Toronto chapter, we also have a job portal here, but we go a step more ahead. We are helping even the spouses of the Indian chartered accountants coming to Canada. I have a case wherein one of the spouse of the member of the institute has been helped to get a job. So that's the second thing I wanted to say. And the third thing I'm trying to say, we are helping even our professional brothers and sisters in doing CPA. Like we have been organizing sessions as to how to crack the CPA, Canadian CPA exam over here. And we have held multiple sessions on that. And last thing but not the least, I want to say, and this could be first in our Indian ICAI history, we have signed MOU between Toronto chapter and the BC chapter also. That's basically for cooperating, for organizing the webinars, web meetings, any events. So that is something we are doing. So that's the last thing I wanted to say. And in terms of one question that I have, or maybe I have two questions.
Before you pose the question, I just wanted to welcome the embassy. Two embassy we have joined for the next session because he's His Excellency. So I don't want it to wait for them, but I want to recognize His Excellency Upendra Singh Rawatji for the ambassador of the India to Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua. So these three countries, the embassy has joined, and another embassy, Ricardo Varna from the Indian the affairs of Panama embassy. So these two embassy have joined. I welcome them. Just request for another 5 minutes. We are winding up the session, and we have the last question or two. So just we finish in 5 minutes. So my Highness, just wait. I'm really apologize for the delay. Sir, Janeji.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So my question is maybe this could be a question to maybe both questions to ICAI. So first question is, and you may answer later on also, not necessarily now. I think we are doing wonderfully good here in Canada in helping our Indian chartered accountants settling down well. So maybe we would like to hear from you as to what are the further specific expectations you guys want from the chapters, both BC chapter and also the Toronto chapter. So that is question number one. And question number two also, let me say now, and then you may choose to respond now or maybe later, whatever way. So after very detailed and concerted efforts, both of the chapters, BC chapter as also Toronto chapter, we have been able to sign MOU with CPA Canada and also Indian ICAI. And you are aware of the fact that the MOU is there, but still we do not have full reciprocity between the two exams in Canada or in CA. And we know that there are so many other countries with which Canada has got reciprocity on an equal footing basis. So we believe that it is something that the Indian CA Institute has to take up at political level or whatever it needs to do, so that our members don't have to face the trouble of preparing again for another exam, all those things. So we would like something to be done at that level. Maybe Government of India.
Ganeji, I know all the questions. We'll definitely, we have the answer. We'll take it due to the paucity of time, because it's a session on the APA and the question going to be asked. So that's the internal matter. We'll give you answer. Now I'm coming to Geeta Ramakrishnan. She is also chairperson of the chapter. So I request her to brief about the chapter. And also, if you have any question, you can pose the question so that we can speed up for the next session.
Certainly. So greetings to all the eminent panelists and also everybody that has tuned in. So you heard from Canada, the main reason, what we do as a chapter, it's very similar in the US, with a small difference, of course, that the US is very much larger. There are about 5,000 chartered accountants across the US, and today we have chapters or representative offices from coast to coast. Earlier on in the day, we spoke about the two main chapters, San Francisco and New York. We have a third, Houston, and today we have about 5 representative offices all across the country, from Florida to Washington, D.C., Chicago, New England. We're expecting to open in Seattle, maybe in Portland. So anyway, by the end of the year, we expect 10 offices across the country. Why am I telling you all of this? Because essentially we are your landing page, right? We are your family, my fellow colleagues. When you come to the US, we are here. We will help you settle. We run, professional development courses. We run job fairs. Our WhatsApp boards are always buzzing with job opportunities. So we're here. And for those of you who wish to stay in India, feel free to use us as your conduit to connect with business opportunities, if you like, or any other questions that you may have. So that is what I wanted to tell you in brief. We are here. We provide networking connections. We provide professional development. We provide job and business opportunities, as in, a way. Not that we ourselves provide jobs, but we show you where they could be. In terms of questions, I think there was one question here, the two actually. One which said, how do we reach out to the target entities in the US who are willing to outsource to India? Gaganji, I don't know, did you want to quickly take this one?
Sure. I think I briefly touched, in the middle of some questions, right? So, again, we have to find out what the targets are, and the targets could be reached out through the various conduits. One conduit is the chapter, which Geeta has just mentioned. Others could be embassies, could be your the bankers. Bankers are playing a big role in US, right? And just to let everyone know, we have here branches of 4 top banks, right? Probably those would still be there. If I interpret the media news that now in India there will be only 4 banks left after consolidation, so those branches will still be there. So those are the top 4 banks, right? And they play a major role. Example would be the stock audits, right? Banks have a vested interest in the stock audits. I know this is one of the areas which is not really an attached function, right, per se, which will require a CPA licensing here, and a lot of the CA firms in India do. It's a very similar thing. Bankers reach out to, right, and if someone needs a database of, which banks are doing, I think we can get you the answers from the commerce department in the embassy, or, reach out to us, me or Geeta or anyone. That's an example, right? So there are various conduits which legal firms, now with the LLP Act coming into, many accounting firms have a collaboration with the accounting firms or the legal firms in US, right? So that's another avenue. So it has to be through the conduits, and I said earlier, look out for the new avenues, which is a byproduct of the new regulations, right? And once that comes, we have to identify the targets, and then we can always work with the embassies and the accounting firms here, or the chapters to tap on that. We can have some combined fair or something. That's always a possibility. That happened in the case of the healthcare industry when the regulations change, and so that's another one.
What it's going to be, we going to circulate you all the questions. A lot of questions are coming. We can answer them by posting the answer on the website. So a lot of questions are coming about the opportunity, how to approach. You can approach to the Gaganji, you can approach the monies, you can approach the chapter, you can go to the embassy and all the e-commerce, all the commerce, business commerce delegations. So these are the, I think very well covered the APO. We have the next session also about the Latin America. So I thank you all the panelists over here for excellent coverage and excellent time. So thank you. Now request the Hansraji to give you a closing remark and brief for the new.
Yeah, thank you. I really been kind enough and really been, it's a great time to thanks each and everyone. Though concluding, we understands we have been given the way to find out the opportunity. We have given the way to understand and what precautions are what methodology we can really find out good things across the North America. Really been, I'm kind enough for the each and every panelist, those who have brought us so many good things, Rajya Lakshmi Rao ji, Manish Agarwal ji, and the Gagan himself has spoken very great things. The methodology A to Z, whether it is the small to small things and the bigger to bigger. Think big, naturally you will come closer to that big thing. And we are very thankful to the chapters also, those who have brought us come closer. They are serving on behalf of the ICAI. They are giving best to the fraternity, so that if no challenges can come on the way, the challenges are really been taken away and the opportunities has been converted with that kind of challenges. I'm very grateful and thankful to this each and everyone for this closing of the session 9. I'll request each and everyone, those who really been there from this session, to really take them. We'll be connecting again whenever our professional brothers needs you. Whatsoever the question has come in, that will also be circulated to you for the putting on the being there on our website of the committee, so that we can. Everyone is being benefited with. The question cannot be answered to those because it is in numbers, maybe running into the hundreds. So those cannot be answered. We will be answering them through the methodology of putting those answers into the website portal of this committee. With these words, I am very grateful and thankful to each one of you. Now, friends, time has come for the closing of the session 9, and we'll be moving towards the next session, which is the last session for the this week-long program, which is Connecting a Global Week program. In the meantime, I'll request to those who belongs to this session 9 to mute or unmute mute themselves, so that we can introduce the last session, this session 9, friends from the embassies also, friends the panelists also, and friends from the chapters also. I'm very thankful to each and everyone for joining us. Thank you all. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for having me. Rajalakshmi, bye-bye. All the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, Chairman, start.
Yeah, thank you, friends. I welcome you all to this last session of this week-long program. We have a very, very great personalities. His Excellency Ricardo Bernaji, who is a charge d'affaires of the Panama Embassy, New Delhi. We have another, His Excellency Upender Singh Rawat ji, Indian Embassy to Panama, Nicaragua, and the Costa Rica. They are with us. We have 3 panelists. Rajkumar Sharma ji, who happens to be a president and the CEO, Indo-Latin America, American Chamber of Commerce. We have CA Sanjay Jain ji, Director, International Business, Regulatory and the Policy, Indo-Latin American Chamber of Commerce. We have Mr. Hunar Janu ji, Principal Investment Specialist from the Invest India. Friends, we have a chapters representation through different friends from the all across. Geeta Ramakrishnan ji is with us. We have a Deepak Arora ji from the Vancouver chapters as a past chairman. We have been here. The other friends from the other chapters also I can find out. Sandeep also here with us. We can find out other friends also, I can see like Vikram also here, Ganesh ji also here, another one friend, the youngest member in the council, a council friend of mine, Aniket Talati ji, who is there as a friend from the council as well as the member of our committee also. We have the co-chairman Dheeraj Khandelwal ji, who will be giving us the best of the as far as the coordinator for the program. Friends, this last session is covering will be the how we can navigate or how we can find out the opportunities for the accounting professionals to the South America. South America, though we least bother about, but the huge opportunities. We normally find out that no one travel to these kind of countries, but the opportunity lies there is definitely abundance that we can find out from the panelists and from the friends from there. Now I would like to request Aniket Talati ji, my colleague in the council, to for the opening remarks. And going forward, then I'll request Dheeraj Khandelwal ji to move with his to take this session forward. Aniket, over to you. Aniket ji.
Thank you very much. First of all, to Honorable Chairman of this committee, Hansraj Chugji, the Vice Chairman, Dheeraj Khandelwal, and the entire team here, which is present, His Excellency Upendra ji. I can also see His Excellency Ricardo ji, all the leaders from various chapters and the panelists. Thank you very much. Good evening, good morning to different time zones. Hello, namaste, hola. I hope I've got the Spanish right here. But it's a great pleasure for me to be here today. And an excellent topic that has been chosen by this committee, recently rechristened. It was always known as the Committee for Export of CA Services. But under the leadership of Hansraj ji and Dheeraj bhai, this year it has been renamed as the Committee for Development in International Trade Services and WTO. And I think the main factor is because this committee is now no longer just looking at exporting the services of chartered accountants to different jurisdictions, but have a two-way communication and a two-way commerce channel, which not only promotes our chartered accountant services to these different jurisdictions, but also involves the entities which are in these jurisdictions to come in India, invest in India. Hundar Januji is here. The Invest India program, which has been led by Honorable Prime Minister. How we, as the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, who have been christened as partners in nation building by the Honorable Past President of India, APJ Abdul Kalam ji, how we play our role as a partner in nation building, not just bringing work for our fellow chartered accountants, but also aiding and assisting other organizations who are looking to come to India, set up shop in India, incorporate in India, and we as chartered accountants can also provide our services on those lines. I think it's a fantastic initiative. My compliments to the committee for organizing. And what a perfect title, Navigating the Path of Accounting for Professionals to South America. You have to navigate your path. The Institute can only help you, guide you. We can probably be the compass. But as Christopher Columbus back in those days found the path to South America, to North America, and discovered the pathway into these beautiful Americas, as I would like to call them, the South America and the North America together. Similar to that, an effort will have to be put in by our professionals. ICAI will be your compass. This committee can at best be the captain at call for you, but you will have to set sail on this ship if you want to ensure that these opportunities that lie in South America and Latin America, as I like to call it, they come to you and we are able to explore them. And I think that is the right intent with which all our participating members must look at this seminar. It is not that by attending this, immediately we will start getting some work from Latin America or immediately work will start flowing. But yes, we need to test the waters. We need to know what are the different types of opportunities that lie in these jurisdictions. The biggest challenge or the opportunity is in the language. India is a country of hundreds of languages that are present in this nation. How we also learn an additional language. Most people in our country know 3 basic languages. Some of us even know 4 or 5 languages. Can we as chartered accountants then also learn Spanish, which is predominantly present in South America, and maybe some Portuguese to add on it, and then cater to this entire jurisdictions more effectively. I have personally strongly always believed that accounting has one language. A debit is a debit, a credit is a credit, an asset in India is an asset anywhere in the world, and a liability will always be a liability. And I think that concepts of accounting, as they remain same across the globe, it is for us as chartered accountants, through this committee, through the wonderful opportunities that they are showing us, to explore the opportunities in other jurisdictions and ensure that we showcase our talent, our deep understanding of accounting, and are able to offer these services to various jurisdictions. I have personally had the experience of working on multiple jurisdictions, providing services, not just in North America, but various other parts of the world. And I can tell you that our chartered accountants are world class, best in class, and are absolutely capable of providing services anywhere in the world. The only thing that we need is probably the right amount of guidance and somebody to show us the way, and then we will tread our path and find these opportunities. And today, this task of showing us where these opportunities in Latin America and South America lie, where should you be exploring, what are the various forms in which you can provide your services to organizations there, will be discussed in today's session. I can only say that I have very, very fond memories of visiting Brazil, Argentina, Chile back in the day when I had been there. Extraordinary countries for one to be, very warm people in the entire South of America. So not just in terms of the economic activity, but culturally also very, very vibrant. Nations that you will be very happy to deal with, very loving and friendly people. I think the opportunity is right. The time is now. It is upon us to embark on this journey. And I'm sure that under leadership of Hansraj ji and Dheeraj bhai, all chartered accountants who are looking to have an opportunity in South America, this is going to be your first step towards navigating your future. I wish all the participants all the very best, and once again thank the committee for inviting me for these opening remarks, and wish all of us all the very best. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Aniket, for your guidance to the members. And rightly said, the members need a right guidance. And that is why this committee is organizing this program on the navigating the path of accounting profession to the South America. So friends, today is the last session, and we roam around the world, and now we enter into the South America, and hardly people know about the South America. We are not aware of what are the countries are and what are the opportunities are. We never sign any MOU. We are not aware of the accounting profession, and that is why the ICAI and together with our friend from Indo-Latin America Chamber of Commerce, together with them, like Rajkumar Sarmaji, like Sanjay Jainji, and with Invest India, Hunar Januji, we are bringing you the entire package of the South America, Latin America, ample of opportunities. Now you have to look beyond that. And ample opportunities. When the R.K. Sarmaji will speak, he will talk very extempored, the huge opportunity. He will talk, leave India, reside there. You will have a lot of opportunity. And with this, I have the privilege to welcome my two His Excellency. One is our Indian person, His Excellency Upendra Kumar Singh Rawat ji, Indian Ambassador to the Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua. So I welcome him. I request, before request, I also want to brief the introduction of him. He is currently ambassador to this country, worked as a joint secretary, Ministry of External Affairs, and he was in charge of the e-governance, information technology, cyber diplomacy division in the Ministry of External Affairs. And prior to the general secretary, he was in charge of the consular passport and visa division. He was also Deputy Chief of Mission Embassy of India, Seoul. He worked in the Ministry of External Affairs, Embassy in India, High Commission of India in Mexico City, Batar Lasagna, and London. So with this, I welcome His Excellency Upen Singh Rawatji. Now we have another His Excellency from the Panama MC, Ricardo Varnaji. He is also a very learned person and a very experienced person and in-depth knowledge of at least 20 countries, whether it's Antigua, Berlin, Guatemala, Panama, Mexico, and Germany, lot of countries. He traveled and have the in-depth knowledge. He is currently a deputy chief of mission, charged the affair 3 times, and alternate representative of the embassy to Panama to Gulak, India. And during the COVID-19, this period, he organized the repatriation of hundreds of Panamanians and permanent resident stranded in India to the Republic of Panama. So with this, I welcome both the gentlemen, both the High Excellency to this webinar of Navigating a Path. And this is the ICAI. I just want to brief you. This Institute of Chartered Accountants of India is a 300,000 member family. 300,000 member, and where about more than 800,000 students are there. So we can say it's 1,100,000 people are in this family. And when we talk about this program, are having live in India as well as across the world. I'm saying across the world, near about 20,000 people are going to witness by the various social media and direct live. This is also live on the YouTube channel and various other social platforms. So with this, we are member of the ICAI, very, very much eager to listen from both His Excellency about the opportunities for the Indian chartered accountant, either in India or there in that respective country. Now I hand over the mic to the Ricardo Varnaji to have his address.
Namaste, assalamu alaikum, sat sri akal, good evening, buenas tardes, buen día. On behalf of His Excellency Laurentino Cortizo Cohen, President of the Republic of Panama, and my own, I want to express my gratitude for being part of this important event in this interesting session. I really appreciate the kindly invitation from Indo-Latin American Chamber of Commerce, in particular his president, Rajkumar Sharmaji. Also, I would like to congratulate publicly the big effort from the board of directors because of the very successful launching of the Indian Business Connection platform last Monday, reaching more than they were expecting, and I'm sure it will increase the commercial exchange between India and Latin America and the Caribbean. People with the enough knowledge usually confuse America with the United States, but the rest of the countries from our Latin American region are highlighting themselves lately for their role in the world commercial dynamic. Talking about my country, Panama is located just in the middle of the North and South America, very near of the Caribbean, with a privileged access to the Pacific. That is why we are historically part of the South America, geographically part of Central America, and culturally part of the Caribbean. It is what has defined our role in the international society for the benefit of the world. With a US dollarized economy, a special incentive in many sectors, banking facilities, but according to the most high international standard from the International Financial Institution, excellent location to connect with all the Americas by flight through the oceans, and also virtually because of the data hub that we host in our zone. Panama is in a very well position to offer an excellent weather of business. However, COVID-19 has represented before and after in our life and also in our economies, beating many sectors, which was in a fast recovery under the rule of the new normality. So far, so good with all the details that we were knocking our doors as artificial intelligence, blockchain, and those trends are taking us to think out of the box. Absolutely. Back all business activities, there are opportunities for accounting professionals. In Panama, it's an activity with its own law, as in the public sector with the Comptroller General of the Republic, as in the private field with the Technical Board of Accounting. There are also institutions regulating this activity, like the National Values Commission, the Band Superintendency, and the Insurance and Reinsurance Superintendency. Actually, as I told you in a couple of minutes, Panama is a very open country, and just recently we are improving our dynamic with India through the Indo-Latin American chambers, and you guys, as I have listened, are very welcome also to join the chamber and also join the platform. And I'm sure you will find in Panama in the way to expand your activities in all the Americas. Thank you so much.
Thank you for highlighting the Panama, His Excellency. Now we have the His Excellency Upendra Singh Rawatji. So request for his address.
Thank you very much, Mr. Khanjalwal. First of all, let me thank Mr. Sharma and ICAI for inviting me for this event. I was specifically reached by Mr. Sharma for this event about a week ago. So, and also want to say my greetings to all the fellow speakers and participants. Mr. Bernard spoke quite a lot about Panama, so let me talk in a more general sense. Panama, we have the Colegio de Contadores Públicos Autorizados de Panama, which is the professional accountants body, and similarly in Costa Rica we have what called a professional body organization of the accountants called Colegio de Contadores Públicos de Costa Rica, and these are the bodies which are in charge.
I think we have lost the connections. We have lost the connection from the Upendra Singh Rawatji. Rawatji, are you listening? So there's no voice coming from the Upendra. So I think he's going to join again. Before that, I just wanted to brief the introduction of the other panelists over here. So we had the three most prominent personalities from the India who's going to deliver on the various insight about the Latin America. They are dealing day and nights with the Latin America. So let me introduce to you with the Rajkumar Samaji, who's the leader of and being a founder, president and CEO of the Indo-Latin American Chamber of Commerce, and he traveled across the entire Latin America. He knows, he only the person who grown the relationship between the India and Latin America. He is also a managing director of Bebab Group of companies, having interest of the international trading, shipping and freight forwarding logistic company. He is also on the board of the Indo-France-European Triangle, and basically he is having more than 35 years of experience in various field in the shipping. Next, we have the person from the Honor Janu from the Invest India. He is having keen interest on the American team with the Invest India. He is having various knowledge about the in Latin America and America, and he also worked across UK, Malaysia, and various other countries. Now we have another.
Rawat ji has joined again. Dheeraj bhai?
Yes.
His Excellency Rawat ji has already joined. Let he complete first, then Rawat ji.
Okay, sorry, I don't know what was the problem. I am on Ethernet connection, but still there was some disruption. Sorry for that. So, so I was talking about in Central American region, you have it's a kind of the thin piece of land which joins North America with South America. Both the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans are closest together, and this region, the countries are here is smaller. This region works as a kind of hub or logistic hub, which you can connect with not only the neighboring countries, but even the far off countries in North America and South America and Panama Canal and other things which exist here. They kind of work as an connecting areas. For example, in Panama, Costa Rica, we do have many of our IT companies, big ones like even Infosys having their offices here. So lot of accounting services also happen through kind of business process outsourcing and things like that. So this is a good reason. Local markets are not big, but then they provide connectivity. Then within Central America, Panama and Costa Rica are relatively highly developed, secure and peaceful countries. So they provide good environment. For example, another example that in Panama, the finance industry is also highly developed. So these countries have their advantages, including that a lot of people know English language because of strong connections with the US and otherwise. So it provides a kind of familiarity and ease of doing business very close to the US. You can travel here back and forth very easily. So it's a good option to consider. And thank you for inviting me. So back to you.
Thank you, Rawatji, for briefing about the various countries and opportunities over there, and the accounting profession will surely connect with you to have a navigating the path. We wanted to have the MOUs or MRA between these countries where the Indian Chartered Accountant can render the services. We need to take your assistance along with the Sarmaji. Will meet you. Now we have the panelists or the three panelists are here. I already briefed about the R.K. Samaji and Huna Janu. Now we have another person from our own fraternity in this particular panel is none other than Sanjay Jain. So Sanjay Jain ji also having a more than 30 years of the experience in the BPO, business process outsourcing or business advisory services, which people talk. He is having various knowledge on the international business, trade, commerce, taxation, legal, compliance, all sort of bucket in value-added services, which he is having it. He also have the knowledge of the debt syndication and restructuring, all kind of things. So he's also various visiting to the entire area, and he's also visiting faculty to the audit and assurance board in the ICAI and any other forum. So with these three panelists, we have a very good panel. So I welcome to all the three panelists over here. Also His Excellency who spoke about the Panama, Costa Rica and other what you call Nicaragua. So three countries are already visited. Now going to understand from all the three panelists about the country, about the nature, about because ICAI members doesn't know about it. We don't have the much presence. We don't have the chapter. We are completely raw. we are not knowing that what kind of features are there. Rightly said by the Gawatji, Panama is the financial hub where the ICAI Chartered Accountant play a major role. So now I wanted to hear from the Sarmaji, what opportunities are there. We have seen that US, Canada. If we talk about, rightly said that if we talk about America, we always had the US. US we thought is a complete America, but America is different. We have to see the Latin America, and that is why we come out this a program about the navigating the path of accounting profession in South America. And Samaji, you are the pioneer on the Indo-Latin America Chamber. You are forefront of it. You have the vast experience on it. Can you just brief about what are the countries are there in that jurisdiction, what they works, what are the opportunities are there, so whether chartered accountant have any scope and what they can do. So entirely in questions, so I wanted to brief from the R.K. Samaji.
Thank you, sir. Let me first welcome Mr. Hansraj Chugh, who is the Chairman, Committee for Development of International Trade Services and WTO, Mr. Dheeraj ji, and rest of the members from the ICAI, our Honorable His Excellency Mr. U.S. Rao, our mentor, Mr. Ricardo Berna, who is very dynamic officer in Panama at Panama Embassy in India. Ricardo is really the very talented and a gem of person in Panama Embassy here in Delhi, and I will say his government itself takes a lot of guidance, suggestions from Mr. Ricardo. So Ricardo, your presence here makes a lot of differences and sense to discuss this chapter. आप सब लोगों को थोड़ा हिंदी मालूम है, हिंदी सबको मालूम है, तो I will start something from Hindi.
Yes, please.
Yes, so because you said Latin America is very unknown to you people. I am very surprising. Latin America, itna bada country where altogether if you connect the Latin America and altogether Latin America and Caribbean, it is altogether 32 countries, small and big. Out of that, 22 countries are really big and big. They are maybe even bigger than India also, like Brazil. Anyway, एक कहावत है, देर आए दुरुस्त है. Better late than never. Mr. Chugh, I really congratulate and appreciate कि देर सबेर तो आपने लैटिन अमेरिका के बारे में सोचा, जहां पर मैं लैटिन अमेरिका में 2005 से बिजनेस कर रहा हूं. My business with the shipping forwarding is connected there since 2005. I was the only third shipping and freight forwarding company in business-wise who started my business doing with Latin America, particularly Panama, Brazil, Mexico, Chile, Peru. 2005 की कहानी आपको बता रहा हूं मैं. And after doing a great business and good business, profitable business, then I thought, why not to develop a chamber for Latin America? Then this idea came when I'm making good business in the Latin American countries. Then why not to develop a chamber and let our business fraternity, trade people enjoy that thing? So slowly, idea developed in my mind. So 2012. We formed this Indo-Latin American Chamber of Commerce. But all of you, as you know, इंडिया में कोई चीज इंटरनेशनल चीज फॉर्म कर दिया जाए तो उसमें ब्यूरोक्रेटिक हिकअप्स बहुत ज्यादा होते हैं.
तुमको आइडिया पता लगा कि क्यों जा रहा है बार बार?
वो इंटरनेट का ही कुछ है, मैंने वो दोबारा लगाया था आपने कहा.
अच्छा, anyway, so ultimately we got recognition establishing 2012, recognition 2014, and so many credentials then started coming slowly. I'll come to the point respect to the old chapter. So, Chugh साहब, it is good, देर आए दुरुस्त है. आप लैटिन अमेरिका को एक लास्ट सेशन में रखा है, तो मैं ये भी कहूंगा, all is well that ends well. अंत भला का सब भला. तो आपने जो है बहुत बढ़िया आज ये चैप्टर रखा हुआ है, मुझे खुशी हो रही है। तो लेकिन एक चीज से दुख भी हो रहा है, यू आर अ वेरी हाईली प्रोफेशनल ऑफ योर एरिया रेस्पेक्टिव फील्ड, वेरी सरप्राइजिंग। हम लोग सब लकीर के फकीर बने रहे। यू आर रनिंग टू द यूएस, कनाडा, यूके, सिंगापुर एंड ऑल दिस थिंग। वी नेवर थॉट अबाउट लैटिन अमेरिका। आपका भाई जब 2005 में सोच सकता है तो आप लोग तो गवर्नमेंट बॉडी हो, आपको पहले सोचना चाहिए था, लेकिन वही देर आए दुरुस्त है। एनीवे, इट इज गुड, जब से जागो तभी सवेरा। रावत साहब हमारे जो है वहां पे इतना वंडरफुल काम कर रहे हैं कि यू कांट बिलीव इट। मिस्टर बर्ना इज डूइंग ए ग्रेट जॉब टू प्रमोट द पनामा इन इंडिया। So now I'll come to the topic. First of all, this organization, our organization, Indo-Latin American Chamber of Commerce, we are the only organization who has signed MOU with Ministry of Panama and Industries together. This is the only chamber in India who has signed the MOU with Government of Panama, Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So this is one news. So Ministry of Commerce and Panama, with the close coordination of our embassy under the leadership of Mr. Rawat, and here the Panama embassy, we all dedicated to promote Latin America, including Panama. Panama हमारा इसलिए फोकस है because Panama is the business hub. Panama is just strategically located like your Dubai and Hong Kong. And believe it, आपकी बॉडी इतनी स्ट्रांग है कि if you make a little effort through us, you can enter over there. There is one company I was talking that is Colombia based. They are the accountancy firm, not accountancy firm. They are just like you. They have their presence in 12 countries of the Latin America. When I said that this type of program is happening, he said, Mr. Sharma, why not you invited us? I said, why I should invite you? First of all, let me understand what these people are going to do it. So, believe it, there is a lot of opportunity available in the Latin America based at Panama. You can establish your office or the association or something like that in Panama, and from Panama, you know, this is almost, free trade zone. There is almost tax-free country. By establishing your office, you can work, you can offer your services in nearby the countries. We have our own offices in 7 countries like Panama, Costa Rica, Chile, Mexico, Peru, Brazil, etc., Colombia. So our chamber shall be standing with you to get our services to the Latin America also. Why this area to be untapped? So far the language barrier, one of the speakers.
I think, yes, very well said. And now coming to the question to the Sanjay ji, being a chartered accountant.
नहीं sir, एक question और रह गया which I will have to present it. Somebody said the language barrier. I don't think that language barrier for our Indians. जब हम चाइना के साथ बिना चाइनीज लैंग्वेज जाने हुए इतना $1 billion का काम कर रहे हैं, तो स्पेनिश लैंग्वेज इज नॉट ए बैरियर एट ऑल. एटलीस्ट आई डू नॉट एक्सेप्ट इट. आई डू नॉट नो सिंगल वर्ड ऑफ द स्पेनिश लैंग्वेज. But I am doing a great business with the Latin America, just for your information. Just for your information. अभी क्या है कि we are getting a lot of inquiry to develop the Spanish language. Spanish language. So if ICAI thinks to have a kind of understanding with us in form of MOU or something like that, we can take you the maximum height where is possible in Latin America, not only in Panama. Colombia has the good opportunity. Mexico has the great opportunity. I have my office, so Chile has the opportunity. आप लोगों के लिए तो there is no dearth of opportunity at all. So with these few words, I will say, we are here. It is good opportunity to interact with you, and let the ICAI decide. Your governing body should decide that you want to go Latin America, and we are here to support you. Thank you.
So now the participant, the R.K. Samaji, the president and CEO of the Indo-Latin American Chambers are giving a helping hand to the ICAI, wanted to set up a MOU, and it's a great gesture. Thank you very much, Rakesh Samaji, for our member going to be going to have a good opportunities in the Latin America. Very rightly said that these are the 32 countries, 22 are the bigger size of the India community. Can you just more brief on the trade part? What are the trades are happening between the India there? So I believe that a lot of investments, outbound investment, inbound investment going to there. So I think we have the Hunar Janoji will have a question. But here I wanted to from you what kind of the trades are happening in these countries.
I'll tell you. In 2005, trade was hardly in million. Right now, the figure I do not have, but general idea and perception I am giving you. 2005, trade was only in million, not even billion. Then 2009, government started Latin America focus LAC policy. Focus LAC policy, the government of India, Ministry of Commerce policy. When they developed the policy, under that policy, I traveled 2 times to the Latin America. Brazil, Mexico, Chile, and all that thing. Then 2010, it was somewhere 3.5 billion. Now 2019, 20, I don't know, 2019, this has gone fivefold. So now we are trading somewhere around 60 billion, something like that.
60 billion is good amount, yeah.
Yes, something like, I'm talking about the whole of the Latin American countries.
Yes.
And the only thing is trade from export, outbound trade is going a lot from India to Latin America. But yes, lot of trade is also coming from the Latin America, like minerals, zinc, gold, copper, all the crude and its related articles and products, and then all the cars accessories like seat cover and all these things, etc., is being imported from India. Fruits, mango from Costa Rica, mango from Costa Rica. All these things are coming. I mean, once you enter over there, for your information, one thing, we are carrying more than 50 plus companies to Panama in the month of March 2021 for 4 days B2B exhibitions. If your organization is interested, please consider, and if you are interested, we can get you this opportunity to go there and see. 40 countries buyers comes over there and they participate in that exhibition that is called Expo Comer Panama. Ricardo and our Honorable Excellency, they have supported us for this exhibition. So we are going Panama. So this type of opportunity is there. We know one company, as I said in my starting message, that one organization who are in the same field what you are here. They are Colombia based. They have their offices in 11 countries. They are speaking to us since last 10 months. Once they come to know that Panama government has signed MOU with us. Sharma ji, why not to create this opportunity कि आप जो है अपने यहाँ के accountancy professor के साथ कोई बातचीत करिए. So what we can offer you also, we can organize a webinar or this type of meeting with you people, country specific, where you will come to know that what opportunity is there. Chuk Sahab. So these are the various things what our chamber can do. Rest of the things, our director international business, Mr. Sanjay Jain, can brief you because he is more expert in this field.
So thank you.
Any question, please ask. Yeah.
I'll come to the lot of questions are there because the countries are 32 and 22 countries are bigger size, so we need to have a lot of questions are coming and definitely We'll come back to you. Now I have the question to the Sanjay ji. Sanjay ji, being a chartered accountant, you understand the chartered accountant entire working area on the accounting, auditing, and a lot of other aspects in the debt syndication. A lot of things are doing. So, being you a part of the Indo-Latin chambers, so what are the areas open in these jurisdiction for the CAs? Can you just and how we can approach? Can you just identify all these points? Unmute yourself. Unmute yourself.
हाँ, थैंक यू धीरज जी। शर्मा जी ने कुछ हिंदी में शुरू किया, तो इजाजत हो तो मैं भी कुछ हिंदी में शुरू करूं चुप साहब की शान में। ये बहुत अच्छी बात शर्मा जी said that he has came very late to Latin American region for the development of the Indian chartered accountants. But nevertheless, late is there, delay is there. But अब इन्होंने एक टीम बना ली। तो एक बहुत पुराना शेर है कि मैं अकेला ही चला था ढूंढने जाने में मंजिल, मगर लोग मिलते गए कारवां बनता है। तो अब चुप साहब आपके पास जो है 32 कंट्रीज का कारवां आपके पास है। शर्मा जी जैसे डायनामिक लीडर्स आपके पास है। एंड हिज एक्सेलेंसीज रावत साहब इतने डायनामिक हमारे एम्बेसडर हैं वहाँ, उनका साथ हमारे साथ है, सबके वृद्ध हाथ है हमारा। और जो एक्सेलेंसीज कोस्टा रिका से और पनामा से हैं, उन लोगों का भी बहुत सपोर्ट है। So it is a very, very welcome step now that we should, step into it and, look forward a very big fortune there for Indian chartered account. Number one. As Sharma ji has told that Latin America has 32 countries and most of them are big countries. And the most important part is that they are fast growing countries. In any fast growing economy, the chartered accountant services are inevitable. They are at last they are required. Be it be accounting, be it be advisory, be it be compliance, be it be audits, be it be, anything, finance or insurance or any sort of services are there. So those services are invariably required there. And if some businesses are coming up in a big way, chartered accountants are required. Now, the thing is that our Indian chartered accountants are most efficient chartered accountants in the entire globe. It is a well accepted fact. Be it be US, UK, or any other country, or even Middle East. You have seen and you have done the seminar on UAE also, and for Middle East also. Most of the chartered accountants they are working are Indians. So we have got a huge opportunity in that region if our chartered accountants, align themselves with the requirement of those countries. For alignment, as our earlier speaker said in the last session, that accounting has the one common universal language, debit or credit. It doesn't have any difference, be it be Latin America, Dubai, India, or any other country. The only thing is that how we understand the local requirement of that particular accounting system, and we adapt that system and align ourselves with the localized system. Particularly, IFRS is again an international system. So that is again a very good subject taught in our curriculum in our final year to our final year students also, and they are quite familiar with that system. So our Indian chartered accountants can very well set up their businesses there or do the job there or do the advisory, set up their advisory services there and associate themselves with the local firms as well. As Sharma ji said that Colombian firm is there and they are very keen to, join hands with people in India. So why not we start, doing collaboration with these type of companies over there? And those are very, very open, people. I have visited Mexico and some other countries also personally, and I know their system. Like our sales tax or VAT, they are having the EVA system. Same system, like VAT we are here or GST we are here, same system they are having. Credits are being given and then, output services are being there, output taxes are there and all those mechanisms are there well in place. So our chartered accountants can, handle those things in a very efficient manner because they have got a rigorous, training here during their articleship and then after, qualifying the exam, they know each and every, technique of handling those things. Number one. Number two, direct taxes is also again a very big area over there because income tax is very stringent law there in Latin American countries. So under income tax also our chartered accountants can do wonders because they are the very good tax planners and good, tax system, management system they can develop and then do the compliance and all this. So for these two areas, yes, of course, it is a very good area, number one. One another very important thing is that they can work as a virtual CFO also. Virtual CFO means it's a new concept to the industry, although big firms are doing for quite a long time, but for a smaller firms and mediocre type firms, it's a new concept. Indian Chartered Accountant, those who have got the training in India during their articleship and after doing some job or some service in some CA firms, they are in a position to handle the entire business in terms of commercial compliances and commercial maintenance of systems and accounts. So to reduce the cost, because the cost difference is also there, so they can very well work as virtual CFO position also there in this one. This is the situation when Indian Chartered Accountants go there. But on the other hand, inbound investment can also be done here in India, because now there is a paradigm shift in the taste and preference of investment from those countries in comparison to China. So people are very keen to come to India because our government has announced so many shops during the last budget and during this COVID-19 also. So people are thinking, they are bound to think about that why not to start their business in India? Because now India is giving the conducive atmosphere of investment and tax exemptions and all those things. So they can reap a good profit over here if they set up their businesses in India. Now, for example, some good Latin American companies invest in India and set up their businesses in India. Then they need the local efficient accountants, those who can do their accounting work or do their compliance work, do their audit works, do their local tax compliance systems works. And if we bundle all these services, they can also work as a virtual CFO capacity also. I personally, having been doing this type of work for so many multinational companies in India, those who have come to us with an idea that we want to start this business, now you have to handle each and everything. You won't imagine, we have done from the scratch and we have given a phrase to it, concept to commissioning services. Means they have given the concept, Spanish company has given the concept, yes, we want to establish this business here. Now, Mr. Jain, you handle it. We have done all the due diligence for them. We have, incorporated their company. We have done the FEMA compliances for that, FDI compliances for them, then develop their accounting system, develop their tax models, develop their tax systems, and then, ultimately, after 2 or 3 years or 4 years, handled, given that company and charge to the CFO which they have appointed from their country. So it is a very good platform for Indian Chartered Accountants because they have got the each and all sort of experience, practical experience with them. So it's a wonderful opportunity if we align ourselves with Latin America and Latin American systems and Latin American laws. Now, second important, very important thing is that yes, there may be a language barrier. For language barrier also, I must congratulate Chuk Saab and Giresh Bhai and the institute's leadership that they have started a Spanish course in our institute for the members, and at that too at a very subsidized rate. So if we encourage our chartered accountants or our new members that they must go mandatorily for that course, or if we make an arrangement with Latin American Chamber of Commerce also, and if we invite people to go for that course, aligned with the accountancy system also, with the compliance system also of those countries, it is going to be a boon for the members. So this is how we can help our members and motivate them to go to those countries, and of course we must invite them to participate in that Panama trade fair which Sharmaji was mentioning in the month of March 21.
So my question to you, sir, rightly mentioned by you that being a chartered accountant, you can do render service. You need to have a local language, Spanish. You need to have. So after Spanish and local compliances, what skill set is also required? So do you want to suggest any members what skill set is required for tapping these opportunities in Latin America?
Yeah. Yes. You see, I may be a little bit critical about our system of members also. Sometimes they do certain things which are not acceptable there in those countries. The perfection is the only key to success there. And we have to motivate our members and our fellow chartered accountants or young chartered accountants particularly to be perfect. And for perfection, they have to work hard initially so that they can give the ultimate results to the expectation of those employees there or the business people or entrepreneurs there. And in the last session also, somebody was telling that in the US also the same thing is required. It is very well required in those companies. because Latin American people are very particular about the quality and perfection and timely completion of them. So these are the basic skills and virtues which we have to keep in our mind, that if we really want to expand ourselves in an area like Latin America, which is growing in a very fast mode, and want to take the advantage of that, we must upgrade ourselves and uplift ourselves up to that pedestal that yes, we are there to fulfill their perfection.
Sir, you guided the members, you take the work, taken the work, learn the Spanish language, learned it. Now, is there any regulatory hurdles which are going to be there for to taking this work from the corporate or the firms? So, what are these hurdles? Are there? How they can overcome from these hurdles?
Because I don't know, I don't see any hurdle sort of thing if Indian Chartered Accountants going there and want to work there. The only thing is that their local laws are there, so you have to adhere those laws. So that is there everywhere, wherever you go, in any country you go. So those things are there. If some chartered accountant is coming to India, so we are also having some restrictions,
Yes.
So that is very common, and it is give and take sort of relationship between two countries.
So any sort of for employment purpose, any requirement is there for the visa or something like that? So if suppose I'm an Indian chartered accountant, young chartered accountant are there. So if I have to take the job, how do I have to take the job? Should I have to take the first visa or first have to apply, then take the visa? What's kind of the employment opportunity I can grab?
To my knowledge, I think first of all you have to grab the job. Then only you will be given the work visa.
Okay. So I think Sarmaji is most aware of that regulatory framework on the visas. Can you just elaborate, Sarmaji?
Yeah, I can elaborate very well, because we are handling this visa job day in, day out. And out of that, Panama and Costa Rica, we are the only agency or organizations who scrutinize and go through the complete checklist detail of the application. Then we submit our view along with the recommendation letter to embassy, then visa is issued. P. You as a professional, if you wish to go, let's say Colombia, let's go. So first of all, as Mr. Sanjay Jain said, you will have to find out a job. Or if you want to go as a tourist visa and find out the possibility of getting the job. So there are two things. One, either work permit you go there, or you go as a tourist, find out the job, come back to India, get your work permit, and the rest of the thing then we will take care. Visa process is a little complicated, particularly for Panama itself. Panama visa takes minimum 30 days time from the date of filing application to Panama embassy here in Delhi, because Panama visa is issued from the Ministry of External Affairs in Panama. Mr. Ricardo, if you are here, I think I am correct, because you every time you say that, sir, I have not got the visa. I have not got the visa. So our ambassador is there. He knows it very well. So visa, Panama, Latin American countries to get visa is a little cumbersome and difficult process due to certain regions. That regions we will discuss one-to-one when we'll get the opportunity to meet.
One of the beautiful part you said, go search the job on the travel visa, come back to India, and then apply. That's the practical experience which you told for the all participants. Superb solution which you already said.
सर ऐसा है जो कोलंबिया की अकाउंटेंसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, उसके हम 4 स्टाफ अब तक भेज चुके हैं.
अच्छा.
I have already sent 4 staff over there, and they are all the accountancy related job.
Great.
So now I know what I'm doing there. Yeah.
So I have a lot of questions for the Honar Januji. So Honarji, I think you representing the Invest India, and you know that a lot of investments are coming India or going from India. So what is the current trend of the investment to and fro from this region, which we are discussing about the Latin America? Elaborate. and what are the opportunities for the members they can have? Punarji, I think he lost his connection. I think there's a network issue. But before that, I'll take a question to him again. I wanted to discuss this with R.K. Sarmaji. R.K. Sarmaji, you know that you're discussing about the 3-4 countries, but we generally knows about the Mexico, we know about the Brazil, the developing economy. Most of the investors are looking for the Brazil economy. So India also looking investments in Brazil. So what these small countries are, which never been looked upon by the people, what you want to give the message to the all participants, because the CAs are driver for the economy and the company. So they take the decisions, and if they are the as a CFO role, they can look the opportunity. These various countries are having opportunities for the business. They can surely look upon it. So Sarmaji, unmute yourself.
I will start from Central America, which consists 5 countries: Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Guatemala, Belize, and El Salvador. 6 countries. Excellency itself is the in charge for the 3 countries. There is one treaty among that country, SICA. SICA is the Spanish name. Excellency knows it very well. SICA is the association of the country related to the political and the commercial. Let's forget about the political. We should concentrate for the financial. Even if you people write to your government, I have already started writing to the embassy here as well as government. If you people start being the government body, if you start writing, and Government of India, Ministry of External Affairs, like division, they are itself trying to revive the SICA due to so many reasons. Politically, they want to support 5-6 countries support Union. No, one political reason. Second thing, India business to these 6 countries is going very well. If you people are somehow convinced to the government and be self-sustaining basis, if you think about the SICA, you will get a lot of opportunity yourself in these 6 countries. Start with. Then we can go, I'm starting taking the name. You can go to Mexico, Chile, Peru, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Uruguay, Paraguay, even Cuba, Dominican Republic. Then we can go to the Caribbean market. So, like Caribbean market, like West Indies, Trinidad, Tobago. These are the countries where really they are looking for the Indian experts, professionals, chartered accountant expert. Only thing, your organization will have to explore it in one single day with the discussion of 1 hour. It is a path breaking. It is the path breaking. Your organization has started a very good decision. At least you thought about the Latin America. I am happy you thought about the Latin America. और सबको दिखाई पड़ रहा है कि you have a lot of.
शर्मा जी, अब आपको एक काम करना पड़ेगा इंस्टीट्यूट का. हमारे चेयरमैन हंसराज जी also for the placement के इंचार्ज हैं. You just promise us 100 CA you need to employed in Latin America. And I can give you 100 CA from our institute.
I will not commit, but I will try my best in my endeavor. Together, we can do something. We can do something because our excellency itself is there, and we have a regular talk. Frequently, we have a talk. And we require this thing, sir. We require this thing. And let the Panama go.
दूसरा चीज, demand from the institute side to you. Definitely, you are helping hand. You have said that on March you will take the delegation. You said a lot of things to have the MOU, but 2 things I require from His Excellency is also here. Panama and Rawat sir is also here. Just want a commitment from your side. we want to have a MRA and MOU between these countries of the professional bodies. Like ICAI is a professional body, from the Panama itself a professional body, we can render the services, we can have jointly come together and provide a good value proposition to the Indian Panama TT.
Mr. Dheeraj, I cannot commit, but I can assure one thing. Let's continue our dialogue. Let's have 2-3 this type of meeting involving the Latin American people also. Here we are only the Indian side and our excellence is there. Let proposal should come from your side. Sanjay ji is there and he will discuss with you people. Let's involve to that country's professionals. Then this will keep on continue, and after certain deliberations, after certain meetings, something definitely will come in.
Great word from the R.K. Sharmaji for the openings of various opportunity for the CA. Now we have the Hunar Janu. He again connected with this program. So Hunarji, you know that entire this region. So you are working in Invest India. So what is the current trend of the investment to and fro? I am saying to and fro from in this region. So and how our member can tap this opportunity?
Thank you, Mr. Khandelwal. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, sorry, I was actually Blue Jeans exited me as soon as I unmuted last time. So thank you for the question, Mr. Khandelwal. I think I'll just quickly go back to what Sharmaji was saying earlier around trade, and of course trade investment is like the other side of trade. Whatever shows up in the trade balances eventually shows up in capital balances. So Sharmaji rightly pointed out that our trade was very small about a decade ago, and then it has increased substantially, but mainly in terms of goods and services. Mainly in terms of goods and merchandise. And services has, of course, lagged to a great extent, so to say. So we do a lot of services trade with North America, but not at all really with Latin America. And investments show a similar trend where a lot of our Indian companies are invested in things like manufacturing of pharmaceuticals, automobile parts, and so on in Latin America. There is also some good amount of investment in IT services in Latin America. But I think the other way around is not so prominent. So Latin American companies are not really, especially when we talk about services, are not invested in India, except a few very select ones like Stefanini, which is an Brazilian IT company, and a couple of other Latin American IT companies. So I think there is a big opportunity there, and just very quickly, that is what exactly Invest India does, facilitating foreign investors into India, including from Latin America. So while I think it was touched upon of how Indian professionals can serve the local Latin American market by traveling there, and also Latin American companies in India, I will just briefly touch upon the third aspect, which is serving the Latin American market from India itself by tradable services, export of services. So Latin American companies can come in, set up in India and export services from here back to their home market. We have a number of schemes that would help them benefit. I will very briefly mention a few of them. So in terms of investing in India, investing in professional services is 100% through the automatic route, so no restrictions there. Repatriation of profits, there are no restrictions. Remittances of personal income, restrictions only as applicable as per the RBI rules. And of course, any other local rules which correspond to regulated services in India. And in terms of export promotion also, there are a number of incentives like the services export scheme, which gives credits for the amount you export in terms of scrips. So a number of these incentives are available, and I think India is a ideal place to explore for setting
Yes.
up and exporting. So
Yes.
I'll just take a pause there. I hope I answered your question.
No, I think very well said. So we have a lot of questions from our chapter chairman and chairperson. So I'll take the later part, but I'll request the chairperson from the US, Geeta Ramakrishnan. So I request Geeta Ramakrishnan to take the questions to our panelist.
Certainly. So once again, thank you to all our eminent panelists. I think we heard and understood a lot about Latin America. And so much was said about this being, land of opportunity, if you will, spread out across 32 different countries, different political, configurations, different geographies. The question was, is there an organization or a portal or, an aggregator, if you will, that could aggregate opportunities, both job opportunities as well as business opportunities? Is there something out there? So if I was a colleague in India, how would I access these opportunities? How would I know about them?
Sharmaji, unmute yourself. Unmute.
Yeah. Madam Geeta Ramakrishnan, you have asked a very relevant question, which was initially, it was indicated, a message was given by our charge d'affaires, Mr. Ricardo. You all will be happy to know that our chamber has taken a lead and started a new business portal called India Biz Connect, IBC. India Biz Connect is the international business portal which has started taking the lead, taking the clue from the government of India campaign Atmanirbhar Bharat. Under Atmanirbhar Bharat, we have started and launched this web portal B2B recently 5 days before. 5 days before we have run. This is the www.indiabizconnect.com. Here.
So it's only B2B, it's not B2C?
No, that is B2B only. B2B. What here with the supplier, services supplier, maybe manufacturer, maybe exporter, maybe service provider. They will have to register over there and start with we will take this query to the Latin American 20 countries. And we have tied up with the African countries, 15 countries. So altogether these 35 countries, we are bent upon to take their services and manufacturing and goods to make the India as the sourcing hub under the leadership of our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi ji. So here what the question is, we are going to provide all sort of services, not only goods. There will be employment services. There will be the service export also, manufacturing export also. So very soon, you all will get all these information on our portal. And then you need not to go there. Only thing you will have to register yourself to find out the opportunities in your respective region. That's the thing we are going to offer to the trade.
Another news to all participants, the India Biz Connect. That is also, going to provide to you, which is going to benefit for you. Now I request Deepak Arora ji is also past chairman of Vancouver chapter from Canada. Request him to, pose a question to the R.K. Sharma ji or Sajjay ji or Hunar Janu.
Thank you, Dheeraj ji. First of all, good morning to everyone from Vancouver. Vancouver chapter, like Toronto, we have 2 chapters in Canada, and we are very actively involved as an extended arm of ICAI to promote our accounting profession to Indian Chartered Accountant over here. If they come over here, we help them through PD seminars. As Geeta said, we have a WhatsApp group. We do a lot, and we always even ready to meet personally to guide them morally or everything. And we look forward. All our other chapters are doing the same thing. So congratulations to everyone. I have specifically two questions. I know Sharma ji has specifically indicated about the restriction of visa over there. If something has been, if they can put something maybe in writing in a question answer for the benefit of our ICAI or something in informal, that will be great. But my second main question is about if our members wanted to come over there, what type of accounting software they can prepare themselves, what type of knowledge they can prepare themselves other than Spanish, because Spanish is the language which you have indicated, which is a good thing. The software will certainly help where they can do it. So I will pass on this to you. Thank you.
I think His Excellency can also rope on and.
He will reply better. He will reply better. Yes.
His Excellency. Mr. Barna and Ravasar.
I think not listening.
Yes,
hello. Yes. From our side, I can tell you, you can ask also the very long Indian community in Panama how fast they are learning Spanish day by day, and also from my side. For example, I'm no full in Hindi, but I can tell you, Namaste, kya se ho, Bharia. You know, actually, when you want, you have a goal to reach, you are going to do all and everything to reach the goal. That's it. Spanish is not the barrier.
Very correct. Very good.
Spanish is not the barrier. Thank you.
Ravasar, do you have any idea of what kind of software are being used in these countries?
No, I'm not an expert in the accounting business, but so I don't know the direct answer to the question. But it's very obvious that in India, a lot of Indian IT companies are present in this area. They provide services in various different sectors, whether it is telecom, banking, marketing, and all. So IT services are being provided by the Indian companies within this region for the local clients, but also for the clients in US, Canada, etc. So these kind of setups are there, but I also wanted to add one or two more general points, like Mr. Sharma just mentioned that this discussion is only happening within the basically Indians and with one or two participants from the embassies. So it doesn't give the full perspective. We need a kind of open-ended dialogue with the there is a need to establish the contact with the local chambers. Each country has its own chamber or association of the accounting professionals. Then in addition to that, there is also an organization of Inter-American Association of Accountants. So there is a need to be a dialogue, and we will have to change our approach from what we can offer to what they actually need. What I can offer is, suppose this is not of interest to the other party, then my offer is kind of useless. So we need to find the local needs, and that is where this dialogue can come, and then that's what leads to the MRA and those kind of things which we are interested. So apart from these efforts, if ICAI can also make a kind of a permanent small team, and which it's a good initiative to have such a dialogue, but it requires a dedicated team for launching those dialogues, and that is where embassies will be very keen to help you in terms of in establishing the dialogue, in facilitating and promoting and helping in other things. But the thing is that the actual dialogue can only take place between the professionals, and we are not the professionals in accounting business. Our job is facilitating. Yeah, but then there is another issue, is that the population size of India, many a times it's a little intimidating for the countries in this region, in many other regions in the world as well. So there is a need to be a little more sensitive to local sensitivities, needs, and their culture, and so that such dialogues they are not overbearing, and they actually we go from the what we can afford to how we can fit in newer needs in that mode. So basically, that's the message I wanted to say. Thank you.
Now we have the Sandeep Patkar from the Toronto chapter. So I request Sandeep, do you have any question to the all panelists over here?
Yeah, I would like to direct my question to Sanjay Jainji.
Please.
So R.K. Sharma ji talked about India Business Connect and those sort of forums that are available. But if somebody from India simply wants to connect with somebody on a business front, on APO front, what's the best platform to go to? That's my first question. And probably second one, I'll just toss it up to you to see if you have anything on that. Is when we talk about opportunities, job opportunities and whatnot, what do you see is the sort of best opportunities for which generation? We have quite a few of youngsters, experienced ones, and those who are closer to retirement. Where do you see them faring in the job market there?
You see, as far as my knowledge and understanding goes about the Latin American countries, in particular Mexico and Panama and all, most of the multinational companies have set up their businesses. And for them, they need the first generation professions and mediocre type of professions also, because they need some maturity is also required at that level, because it's altogether a different region, different culture, different things. Not many Indian companies have set up their plant and business in Mexico. IT companies and automobile companies, and they have taken altogether the entire team of engineers and professionals from India, right? So, and those people, those who have already gone there, and they have shifted from that company to another companies, and they are very well doing their businesses there, or they are set up their practices and other professional work there. So the point is that if at the initial level, young chartered accountant who has just qualified, and if he adds some value in terms of language and the local requirement and local laws, and then he start there, yes, he is welcome, because they compare the manpower from the developed countries also. So, except UK or some other countries from where chartered accountants are being produced in a good number of this thing, except CPAs and all, Indian chartered accountants are very well in demand everywhere. So, the first generation chartered accountant, yes, there is a scope, no doubt about it. Then, after having 5-7 years experience in India or any other country, then they move to that country. Yes, of course, in middle management also they are required. But at higher level, yes, of course, some other value additions are required, like, they need the management degree along with the chartered accountancy or, other things. So, or like, forex expertise or this treasury expertise they are required. So that sort of thing is there, and the requirement is there of first generation as well as mediocre level chartered accountant.
Good. So, Mike, another question to the Hunar Januji, who is also from the Invest India. Sir, we have seen the very less success story in this of the investment in this region as compared to the US, Canada, Australia, Europe. Latin America, we have seen very less story. Can you just brief, one or two motivated story which is happening in the South region? Is a bigger story, so the young member can connect and be part of it. Your voice, Hunar, you're not audible. Unmute, yes. Yes, now.
Yeah. So thank you. I think you're right. Latin America traditionally has not been on the radar of Indian investors. There has been a core group of companies, Indian companies, that have been operating in Latin America. As I was saying, mostly in terms of manufacturing and some in terms of IT services. So we have the likes of Aditya Birla and TCS and pharmaceutical companies, UPL, companies like that. But it's a very select group of about 15 or so companies that have been investing, and it hasn't expanded really for some time. I think a big reason for that obviously is that Latin America is just not on the radar of a number of people. And if you if you talk about any recent big investment from India into Latin America, I will be actually hard pressed. One thing is, of course, that we do not track outbound investments very closely. We track inbound investments into India. But even apart from that, I would be a little hard pressed. But in case the other experts on this panel have any inputs on that, then I'll hand it over to them.
Inbound investment from these countries?
I'll answer that. May I?
Yes, please.
Actually, as Janu Sahab had rightly said, that very few people know about Latin American investment culture and investment, opportunities there. And I tell you that most of the Latin American countries are having FTAs signed with US and Canada and other development, right? The only thing is that if we motivate people, if we make people aware in India, entrepreneurs aware in India, investors aware in India, that look, if you go there and set up your plant there, manufacturing facilities there, then you are going to get the benefit of FTAs due to country of origin, requirement of further exporting the things from manufactured there or processed there. People don't know about this thing, that if plant is being established there and they manufacture the things there in Latin America and then export it to US, they will get the FTA benefits. And FTA benefits cover so many things like exemption of custom duties or concessional sales tax and other local taxes benefits are also there. And some similar other type of liberalized policies are there in terms of foreign exchange as well. So the only thing is why it is not happening in India, that people are not totally aware about the Latin American region itself as such. Where only people know that yes, one country is there called Brazil or Mexico or Panama due to some other reasons. I'm sorry to say, but otherwise, what countries are there, people don't know. Caribbean countries, if you ask people, they don't know what are the Caribbean countries or what is the Caribbean region. So the only thing is that we have to make them aware by this way or that way. That look, yes, that is a region, potential region, and you can go there, establish your business, shops there. They have got the huge potential, like automobile industry, pharma industry, IT industry, big, business houses of India. They have settled their plant there and businesses there, but not the SMEs, not the mediocre type of companies, because they don't know, and they have got a huge stigma in their mind that language is a very big barrier. But as Rawat Sahab has rightly said, that there is no barrier of language. Or our other dignitaries has just mentioned that yes, the language is not a barrier. Sharma ji has also mentioned the same thing. So the only thing is that we have to make an awareness program, as Sharma ji has rightly said, that Institute of Chartered Accountants should come forward and make the people aware in our profession and in our
just to for your information, we had a 20 batch, more than 20 batch, more than 200 people has learned the Spanish language. So his expertise over here. So just wanted to brief you. More than 200 people learned and understanding now the Spanish language. We can take this benefit of this all 200 people. We can take him along with the this market and can work on. Now, Honor, you were saying about outbound, inbound. So can you just brief me about the inbound investment from the Latin America? Any success story, any word?
Yeah. Sure. I mean, the most that we have seen has been only from a few select countries, and that is also, in terms of absolute amounts, it is a small amount. So there is a lot of opportunity, mainly from Brazil, some amount from Argentina and Chile and Peru. And if you talk about, say, for example, success stories, I think, for example, Marco Polo is a good one. Everybody who has been to Delhi would have seen Tata Marco Polo buses. They are the backbone of Delhi's public transport. And Marco Polo invested some significant amount along with Tata in setting up that facility and manufacturing those buses. We have companies like WEG, which have been manufacturing motors and irrigation pumps and so on for a while. But most of them are into manufacturing. In terms of services, I think, as I said earlier, there hasn't been a lot that has come in. There are a couple of IT companies from Latin American region like Stefanini and so on that have set up in India. But it is so small as to be insignificant, really. So I think there is a big opportunity there. There are a few success stories, but not more than probably 10 or 12.
So
One cinema chain is also there. One cinema chain is also there.
Yes, Cinepolis. Cinepolis.
Yeah.
That is from Mexico.
Yeah, you are right.
Yeah, that's from Mexico.
Yes, Max.
Yes, that is right.
So I think it's a wonderful session with the all panelists and His Excellency also here. He expressed a lot of opportunities with the ICAI, and also for the Sarmaji, he give us a bucket of lot of flowers and opportunities with opportunities to the ICAI and in the Latin America. So it's an amazing session. It's a end of the 10th session where we traveled across the world. Across the world, entire chartered accountant traveled, whether it's Australia or Europe and entire Asia, then Africa, then to the entire America, and now to the Latin America. So we traveled entire world. And lastly, which I think Samaji bole ki last hai durust hai, but in the last we got a lot of opportunities. In the opportunities where never been explored. So members, this is the real sense opportunity. You have to find the new things and new changes and which never been explored. And this is the only point in this Latin America. The 32 countries, 22 the biggest country, and all people like Sarmaji, like His Excellency, like Invest India, all are there to support you, to mentor you, to give you opportunity. It's amazing. And now it's your time to work out and take it. We will definitely work with the Samaji. A placement call with our chairman Hansraji is going to take this part of it. Placement drive in Latin America. That is the placement drive going to be there, and that going to be in March, where the people also will have a exhibitions and business opportunity. So lots of things are in bucket with the Sarmaji and His Excellency. It's a great, wonderful session for the all people, even me also, even my chairman also. Now I hand over the conducting to my chairman Hansaji for a briefing and a concluding remark.
Thank you, Dheeraj Bhai. Really, I appreciate from my heart the methodology with the clarity, His Excellency, both of them, this Ricardo Bernaji and the Upender Singh Rawatji brought us closer to the countries, 32 great countries, maybe 20 big countries, and the rest. You see, like it's a world we have traveled during the last few days, all across 5 days. And really, if one thing closes, the other things started. It's a well said, ki it is not the closure. It's a going forward. Once a clarity comes in the mind, and then sincerity in the efforts has to take place. This session I can understand with great of abilities, participation from all across, from the different chapters. Panelist has brought us so many good things. Sarmaji, I can remember, it will remain memories all through my life. Sanjay Bhai also have brought so many good things because he belongs to our profession. And Hunarji really been a person from Invest India, who is a facilitator for the promoting the investment into India. He has also brought so many good things with us. Deepak Arora ji from the chapter also, Sandeep Patkar ji and Vikram ji and Geeta ji, they also brought so many good things to us. Friends, it's a well said. Once it is clear in the understanding, then only the next steps to be taken with. And today I can say with कि some dialogue has been started with, though it is little late, like Sharma ji has already shared, कि देर आए दुरुस्त आए. लेकिन शर्मा जी मैं आपको इतना विश्वास दिलवा सकता हूं, जो आपका मार्च का जो है, जो ट्रिप बता रहे हैं आप 2021 का, उसमें भी हमारे जो पार्टिसिपेंट्स रहेंगे वो भी दैट विल बी आल्सो इन गुड इन नंबर्स, बिकॉज प्रोवाइडेड बाय दैट टाइम we are not worrying about anything related with the health because of the COVID-19. Otherwise, you will find our professional brothers will also participating for the exploring the whole of the Latin American countries, so that they can bring back the opportunities for the country, opportunities for themselves also, because it is the nation which will be bringing out the as far as the free economy or the free foreign exchange for the country by exploring the opportunities overseas, and naturally best for the employment generations also. I'm very grateful and thankful to each one of you for so many good things which has comes from the horse's mouth, directly from the different places, directly from the His Excellencies, directly from the those who know the subjects. No indirect methodology. It's a direct those who know the subjects, and clarity has been brought in to the members. I appreciate the members also all through these 5 days. They are with us in a great large numbers, running into the thousands. That is really been a great time for each one of us. And lastly, I am very grateful and thankful to the team, those who on the back end as a secretary of this committee also, and the committee members also. I am very grateful and thankful to the each and everyone for making this a great, wonderful and the purposeful session to be completed. This 10 session in the row for continuous for 5 days, traveled across the globe, starting from the Asia and ending to the developed nations also, developing also, landlocked countries also, and the countries those who are least been taken forward. Those countries also is being taken forward by the ICAI for sharing the knowledge, for bringing out best to our fraternity, for the knowledge of each and every member. The last person of our profession also sitting at this remote places also, because you see, like otherwise it would have not been possible if this technology would have not been there. So this technology has brought us together, brought us closer, and this has paved the way for the opportunity, for the best to deliver with, best to get with. So with these words, once again I'm very thankful to each one of you for this making it is a purposeful session all through the 5 days. Thank you everyone. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank
And
you.
so just wanted to brief you. The participants lagged very much this particular session, and they are asking it should be a 3-hour session rather than be a 1.5 hour session. It should be a 3-hour session. So there's a lot of demands. Everyone is appreciating the new methodology which Hansaji is talking about. It's a good concept, and definitely with the helping hand of from Indo-Latin American Chambers, Sanjay ji and Rakesh Samaji, will sure a great beginnings and will have to reach to ends. So thank you very much.
Let us convey our thanks in Spanish. Gracias.
Yes, yes. Sir, I will say, lastly, I will say one word to our Honorable His Excellency Mr. Rawat. I spoke only 4 days before, and I said, sir, this is your domain, and please come forward and just highlight about your insight, what exactly going on. He said कि शर्मा जी ठीक है, सब कुछ जो है अर्थ पे डिपेंड करता है, अकाउंटेंसी इज अर्थ, तो जब कुछ अर्थ पे है तो मैं आ जाऊंगा, कुछ देखूंगा what best we can do for our country. So with these few words, I also appreciate, I also thank you very much, Mr. Chug, your team, Mr. Dheeraj, to providing this opportunity. We are with you. Let's join hand and let's do something different for our great country India to make it the Atmanirbhar Bharat. Time has come in. टाइम हैज कम इन, हमें पूरे वर्ल्ड में अपने को आत्मनिर्भर दिखा देना है कि इंडिया द सोर्सिंग हब. और आपको विश्वास बताऊं, लैटिन अमेरिका पूरा जो है, दे आर मोस्टली डिपेंड टू चाइना, एंड नाउ देयर इल्यूजन इज गॉन. एवरी डे वी हैव 10 इंक्वायरी एवरी डे. शर्मा जी ये हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा, ऐसे हो जाएगा. हमने कहा वेट फॉर द इंडिया बिज कनेक्ट एंड यू विल गेट एवरीथिंग. तो टाइम हैज कम. दीपक भाई को कनाडा से I also thank you, sir. With these few words, thank you very much. Good night. अब रात का डिनर करने दीजिए, 10:30 बज चुके हैं.
Good night, everyone.
Muchas gracias.
सर एक्सेलेंसी आपके लिए तो दोपहर है, हमारे तो साढ़े 10 बज गए रात
ये बिल्कुल बिल्कुल जी, आप खाइए और सोइए।
इधर बीबियां कह रही होंगी कि खाना जो है कि ठंडा हो रहा है, व्हाई नॉट टू कम एंड ज्वाइन। थैंक यू सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच।
पूरा पीस।
Thank you, Rahul sir. Thank you.
चलो भाई।
Thank you. Thank you.